Chapter 572. Commutation of sentence. Granny Ma shouted at the cage behind her. Shut up. That family disciple was also scared witless by this shout, his face pale with fright. Granny Ma looked at the calm and composed Qin Yun and asked coldly, "What do you want? 3 years reduction? That was impossible, since you're involved in a private fight. Then, don't talk anymore, I want to sleep." Qin Yun lied on the ground, turned over, and fell asleep. Granny Ma is very angry. She wants to grab Qin Yun and beat him up. Qin Yun is now certain that the competition that Granny Ma came to find him for is extremely important. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come here while suppressing his anger, and he wouldn't have made an exception to reduce his sentence. Qin Yun, don't be too complacent. Granny Ma shouted, "Half a year. Only half a year. That should be fine, right?" After all, she was from the Lawkeeper Hall. She had to respect the rules, because it was very rare to get an exception to reduce the sentence. If Qin Yun was acquitted, it would be a complete violation of the sex rules. Those old fogies in the Lawkeeper Hall would never accept such a thing. Qin Yun continued lying on the ground without making a sound. He didn't want to stay here for another day, let alone half a year. "Granny Ma, please find someone else, because I suddenly found that I like this dungeon. Lying here for 3 years is nothing." Qin Yun lay on the ground with his legs crossed and chuckled. How could Granny Ma not see that Qin Yun did it on purpose? It was all for the sake of fighting for the greatest benefit. She secretly blamed herself for not being tactful enough and not being steady enough. She let Qin Yun see that this matter was very important, so she was led along. If she had behaved calmly from the beginning, she might have succeeded long ago. Of course, Qin Yun's Tao spirit Demonis Yun, is not to be trifled with. Now, Ling Yun, taught Qin Yun how to control himself. Because in the present situation, as long as he could endure it, Qin Yun could set any conditions he wanted. Granny Ma looked at Qin Yun with an extremely gloomy expression. She has long heard of Qin Yun's deeds. Now, after interacting with Qin Yun, she finally understood. Why was Qin Yun able to live until now after causing so much trouble? "You want to be exempted from punishment, right?" Granny Ma said coldly. "All right, then I will reduce your punishment. I will only lock you up for 2 days. You've been locked up here for a few days, haven't you?" In this way, he still received a certain amount of punishment. But the prerequisite is that you must win this competition in order to receive a reduced sentence. Seeing Granny Ma submit, the family disciples were all surprised and jealous. They didn't understand how important that competition was. He actually made Granny Ma make such a big concession. The family faction had sacrificed their disciples to accompany Qin Yun in prison because they did not want Qin Yun to participate in the martial arts tournament. But now this plan was about to fail. All the family disciples here want to cry, but have no tears because Qin Yun will be able to leave very soon. "I agreed to participate in the competition, but whether I win or lose, you must exempt me from punishment." Qin Yun said, "If you don't agree, then next time we talk, I will increase my requirements." "Delusion," Granny Ma said. "Then forget it, please go back. If you still want me to go out and compete, I will state my conditions." Qin Yun smiled with a proud look on his face. Those family disciples wanted to fan the flames and let Granny Ma teach Qin Yun a lesson, but they did not dare to speak. Granny Ma is temperamental. This is also a well-known matter. But now in front of Qin Yun, she seems so weak. Granny Ma gritted her teeth, and it seems that she can't suppress the anger in her heart. "Okay, then you will stay here for 3 years." She snorted angrily and turned to leave. Granny Ma really left. The dungeon also returned to silence. The long family disciple laughed and said, "Qin Yun, you are finished. You have angered Granny Ma. Don't think about staying in a mortal weapon city in the future." "Qin Yun, you son of a bitch, you are really stupid. You actually gave up such a good opportunity and even provoked Granny Ma. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth." Another family disciple sneered and said, "You will definitely be watched by the Lawkeeper Hall in the future. As long as you cause any trouble, you will definitely be arrested." Just as those disciples were making irresponsible remarks to Qin Yun, Granny Ma came back again. The people in the dungeon saw Granny Ma come back, and they were all dumbfounded. Granny Ma just left in anger, and now she came back, obviously to compromise with Qin Yun. That competition is really very important, because among the disciples of the entire Immortal Weapon City, only Qin Yun can go out and defeat Ing Qingyu's disciple. If the Immortal Weapon City loses in this competition, it means that they have to give up the Immortal Tool. How precious is the Immortal Tool? So no matter what, they must keep the Immortal Tool. Qin Yun, as long as you participate in the competition, regardless of winning or losing, I will immediately let you go. Granny Ma's tone is very flat, not as aggressive as before. I want to make a condition. Qin Yun smiled and got up from the ground and patted the dust on his body. You say, don't go too far. Granny Ma said, those family disciples are bleeding with jealousy in their hearts. They now understand the importance of strong inscription talent. Even Granny Ma of the Lawkeeper Hall is so humble. I want to beat them up. Qin Yun pointed to the family disciples in the cages opposite. They're all spirit martial realm martial masters. Qin Yun, you bastard, don't be delusional. Granny Ma is fair and will never agree to this kind of thing. Granny Ma, don't agree to such a despicable person as Qin Yun. Shameless guy. You are forcing Granny Ma to do unjust things. Granny Ma is perceptive and selfless. Don't give in to Qin Yun, this despicable and shameless villain. Those family disciples suddenly shouted and screamed like a dog whose tail was stepped on. Granny Ma said coldly, Qin Yun, don't kill them. Hearing Granny Ma's words, those family disciples, one by one, their faces turned ashen and they screamed. Granny Ma opened the door of Qin Yun's cell. Qin Yun rubbed his hands and walked out with a smile on his face. Then, Granny Ma opened the door of a family disciple's cell and said to the family disciple with a cold face, don't resist. Let Qin Yun beat. If you dare to resist, you will be locked up for another 10 years. Granny Ma, you can't do this. The disciple screamed, this is my territory. I can do whatever I want, and this is also a punishment for you. You deliberately provoked Qin Yun. It was premeditated and your behavior is very bad. That's why I increased your punishment. Granny Ma smiled coldly. This reason of mine should be enough, right? Qin Yun walked into the cage and punched the Long family disciple in the face. He said with a smile, Granny Ma is really wise. I will punish them well. Boom, boom, boom. Pa, pa, pa. Qin Yun's fists and palms alternated as he madly beat the disciple back and forth, causing the Long family disciple to scream like a pig being slaughtered. The other family disciples nearby trembled in fear when they heard the blood-curdling screams. Qin Yun, have some sense of propriety. Don't cripple them, otherwise I won't be able to explain. Granny Ma slightly frowned. Rest assured, I have the most experience in this kind of thing. Qin Yun said with a smile and continued to beat the disciple. After a while, the disciple was beaten until he looked like a pig's head, lying on the ground and crying. Qin Yun looked at the next cage and said with a smile, is it fun to watch? It's your turn. The disciple in the cage is from the Yang family. When he saw Granny Ma open the cell door, he immediately cried and begged Qin Yun, Brother Qin Yun, Uncle Qin Yun, don't beat me. Spare me this time. Qin Yun did not buy this trick. He was just scolded by this group of guys. When I was hung in the immortal fire pool, you set fire to me and burned me so happily. Of course, I have to repay this kindness. Qin Yun said with a smile and beat the man. They did not dare to fight back. If they did, they would be imprisoned for 10 years. One must know that in this dungeon, except for the people of the Lawkeeper Hall, no one can visit. Therefore, it is difficult to spread what happened here. Only those disciples who have been imprisoned for 3 years can talk to their elders about this matter. Half an hour later, the family disciples in the cages were all beaten by Qin Yun and suffered a lot. When they saw Qin Yun smile at this time, there was a fear in their hearts. You guys originally wanted to trap me for 3 years, but now I am free and you have to continue to be imprisoned, huh? Qin Yun laughed loudly and followed Granny Ma out of the dungeon. After Qin Yun was taken out by Granny Ma, he was stuffed into a car and then threw a set of clothes to him. Put it on. This is the clothes of our immortal weapon city. It is a set of beautiful blue clothes with good workmanship. After Qin Yin put it on, after some combing, he became very spirited and full of vitality, making him look more handsome and unrestrained. This is your identity card. Granny Ma handed Qin Yin a jade card. Drip blood. After Qin Yin dripped blood, he smiled and said, "From today on, I am a part of Immortal Weapon City." Humph. Granny Ma snorted. She did not know what kind of trouble this Immortal Weapon Palace will be caused by this kid in the future. Qin Yin whistled cheerfully and followed Granny Ma and flew outside the Immortal Weapon Palace. Chu Binyu and others saw Qin Yin with a cheerful smile on his face and were completely relieved. The elders of the family forces are gnashing their teeth. Granny Ma, Qin Yin violated the rules of the sect because of a private fight and will be imprisoned for 3 years. After the competition, let him go back to the dungeon. An old man came over and said, "Qin Yin has mastered the supreme inscription technique. He came out to protect the honor of our immortal weapon city. It is also considered as a meritorious service, so I reduced his sentence and only detained him for 2 days." Granny Ma said coldly, "Everyone knows that Qin Yin stayed in the dungeon for 2 or 3 days, which means that after the competition, he will be free." Granny Ma, the rules can't be broken. An old man is very dissatisfied and quickly shouted. Chapter 573. 573, Chapter 573, An Important Contest. After the elders of the family forces heard this, they were all shocked. As long as Qin Yin's sentence is reduced, he is willing to compete. If you want to continue to imprison him, go and find me a good young disciple to carve totem runes. If the disciple you find can't win and lose the immortal tool, you will break your own arm. If you can't do it, get out of my way and shut your stinky mouth." Granny Ma's eyes emitted a cold light, and her voice was slightly angry. The elders of the family forces did not dare to speak and could only obediently retreat. Qin Yin knows that this competition is very important, but it is much more important than he imagined. Because if he loses, not only will he lose an immortal tool, but he will also let the Law Keeper Hall people break their own arm. His mother, if I knew it, I would have opened my mouth like a lion and mercilessly drained them. Ling Yun shouted very painfully. Qin Yin also felt the same way. If he knew that the consequences of losing were so serious, he should have set a very excessive condition. Ying Qingyu saw Qin Yin coming and smiled slightly. Interesting. You're only martial down 9th level, and you dare to come out to participate in this kind of competition. You really have confidence. I know the rules of the competition. When can we start? Qin Yin asked calmly. We can start right away, Ying Qingyu said, and took out more than a dozen puppets, some humanoid and some beast-shaped puppets. Although Ying Qingyu's apprentice looks tall and thin, his aura is very strong. After all, he is a spirit martial realm martial master, and his body exudes a relatively pure aura of flame energy. Qin Yin sensed the flame aura, and his heart was secretly shocked. Peng Wang, you choose a puppet to carve totem runes on. Ying Qingyu let his apprentice choose first. Granny Ma suddenly shouted, "Wait, I want to check." When checking, she asked Mu Feng, the bald man, and Chu Binyu to come over and check the blank puppets together. At this time, the blank puppets are all refined. As long as the totem runes are carved on it, it can be used. Qin Yin looked at the material and knew that it is a Xian-level material. He felt that with his own strength, it is not difficult to carve totem runes. The difficult thing is whether he can win in the end. This was because the test of the totem carvings did not only look at the fineness of the totem carvings, but also the puppet strength. These puppets are all about the same. The only difference is that there are 2 types of puppets, human and beast. Mu Feng said to Qin Yin after inspecting them. Chu Binyu and the bald man also nodded. Young Master Qin, what kind of puppet do you want to refine? Lu Jingming came behind Qin Yin and asked softly. I don't know yet. Qin Yin is also considering. Even if he lost, he wouldn't be imprisoned any longer. However, he also wanted to win the competition. This was a great opportunity for him to display his strength. These puppets were prepared by Ying Qingyu. As his apprentice, Peng Wang must be very clear about puppets. He must have practiced it repeatedly before. Peng Wang immediately chose the beast-shaped puppet. Qinyan thought for a moment and also chose a beast-shaped puppet. It looked like a tiger-shaped puppet. Its entire body was black, and it was refined using a lot of Xianyuan steel. Qinyan, I heard that your totem is the golden ape totem. It is better to use it to refine a humanoid puppet. Qingyu said with some surprise. Senior, I'm going to use the golden ape totem to reward the heads of the 3 patriarchs of the Proud Star State, Yang family and Long family. If the senior wants to get the golden ape totem, just take their heads and send them to me. Qinyan laughed. This matter has been spread long ago. Qinyan was in the immortal fire pool, but he was bullied by those family forces, so he used this way to retaliate. Now, when they heard Qinyan personally say it, everyone was surprised to talk about it. The people of the family forces present are full of anger. Qinyan's ancient Dao tool was taken away by the people of Medicine Immortal Valley. Everyone thought that he could no longer put up a bounty for those patriarchs. Now, the golden ape totem he threw out is even more attractive. Golden ape totem is a good totem. If there is no totem Xian inscription master, they should find a way to get it. Qingyu smiled. The patriarchs of the Long family, Yang family, and Tian family have to be very careful when they go out. Qinyan was taken away by the Medicine Immortal Valley, which has always made him upset. Although those Dao tools are not very important to him, they are very precious things. It is equivalent to having a large amount of wealth taken away by the Medicine Immortal Valley. He will definitely settle this account with the Medicine Immortal Valley. Qinyan also wants to put up a bounty for the head of the Medicine Immortal Valley, but the golden ape totem is far from enough. He needs better things. He also has no suitable things, so he can only give up for the time being. Are you all sure about the puppet embryos? Then get ready to start. Now, it is afternoon, tomorrow morning when the sun rises. Qingyu said, when carving the totem rune, only carving knife is needed. The carving knife used is a unified low-grade Xian tool, carving knife. It is even more difficult to use a carving knife that you are not familiar with. Peng Wang picked up the carving knife and very quickly carved on the puppet embryo. At first glance, it can be seen that he is very skilled and has practiced many times. Qingyu, you are well prepared. Granny Ma said coldly. If you want to succeed, you must be fully prepared. Qingyu smiled and said, Little brother Qinyan, don't worry, your strength is still very strong. Even if you lose, no one will laugh at you. After all, you're only 9th level martial Dao realm. Although Qinyan can't use the mental resonance Xian pen, the pen is integrated with him, so he can also use the Beast King inscription spirit inside the pen. Qinyan is expressionless. He clenched the carving knife that is not easy to use, then condensed the power of the blood spirit and began to carve. It takes a very special skill to carve totem rune on this kind of puppet embryo. Because the totem rune is carved inside the puppet embryo and cannot appear on the surface. It can also be carved on the surface, but if the totem rune on the surface is damaged, the puppet will be damaged. Little brother Qinyan, are you sure you want to carve the golden ape totem on this tiger puppet embryo? Qingyu cannot see what totem Qinyan is carving. I didn't say I want to carve the golden ape totem. Qinyan said. There was a burst of exclamation in the square. The totem rune that Qinyan has mastered is not only the golden ape totem. Granny Ma is secretly happy. She feels that the odds of winning are a bit better. She quickly shouted at Qingyu, Don't disturb Qinyan. Let him carve the totem rune in peace. Qinyan has the dragon tiger totem for a long time and has long been familiar with it. Moreover, it has also been evolved by Mo, the high priestess of the elves. His dragon tiger totem rune is a Xian totem. Xian totem is much more complex and powerful than spirit totem. Absorbing the same level of energy, the power released by the spirit totem is not as good as the Xian totem. Interesting. Qingyu is still very confident and calm. He said to Granny Ma, Such an excellent disciple. You have to train him well. I heard that he was bullied by many people in your immortal weapon city. Qingyu, you want to poach him, right? Granny Ma asked coldly. I don't have that idea. I just want to remind you to treat excellent disciples well. Yu has such an idea. He just wants to poach Qin. Immortal Weapon City has a very powerful immortal tool. If they lose here, it means that the strength of Immortal Weapon City will decline, and the overall strength is definitely the most backward among the 5 immortal sections. Therefore, Granny Ma and others must not let such a thing happen. Many of the people watching the battle here are from other immortal sections. Among them, the people of Medicine Immortal Valley and Azure Flame Immortal Mountain are eager for Immortal Weapon City to lose. In this way, they will no longer have to be afraid of Immortal Weapon City. Although the major immortal sects have their own immortal tools, Immortal Weapon City is the strongest. The onlookers want to see what the result is. If Immortal Weapon City loses, they can witness the beginning of the decline of a super immortal sect. Watching the engraving of the totem runes is very boring because nothing can be seen. When Qin Yun and Peng Wang engraved the totem runes, they penetrated the power of the blood soul into the puppet embryo and did not reveal the totem runes at all. Even many old Xian inscription masters can't see anything. The people waiting are talking about all kinds of things, which are also recent events. What everyone was looking forward to the most was the upcoming martial arts tournament. It is said that divine power will be sent, which is also provided by the Divine Inscription Palace. The reason why the Divine Inscription Palace wants to hold this martial art competition is also because the Divine Inscription Palace is established by various sects and has earned a lot of benefits over the years. Therefore, the Divine Inscription Palace will often hold some grand events to issue generous rewards to outstanding martial arts geniuses. Under the patient waiting of everyone, the night passed quickly and the sky was about to dawn. At this time, Peng Wang was the first to finish. Seeing that Qin Yun is going to lose, the people of the family forces are also very anxious. If the immortal tool is lost to Qingyu here, their family forces will not be able to get as many resources as before. The strength of Immortal Weapon City will decline, and in the Proud Star State, they will definitely not be able to compete for any resources. What is Qin Yun doing? It's actually so slow. Can he finish? Granny Ma, if I knew earlier, I would have let Lu Jingming go. You see, he is not finished yet. The people of those family forces, all of them are very anxious. Many of the mines and industries in Immortal Weapon City are under their control. If there is no immortal tool to deter other immortal sects, their resources will be invaded. All of you shut up. Granny Ma shouted at the old men who were making noises. She was also nervous, and her palms were sweaty, and her heart was flustered. Although Qin Yun is slow, he is very stable. He has the assistance of the Beast King Inscription Spirit. Carving beast totems is not a problem. The reason why he is so slow is to make the totem rune stronger. When carving, the more blood soul power is injected, the thicker the totem runes can be, and the more violent the flowing energy can be. I'm done. Chapter 574. 574 Chapter. Hua Kuang seeing Qin Yun complete, the people of Immortal Weapon City all breathed a sigh of relief. Especially Granny Ma. She was just nervous to the extreme. If Qin Yun can't complete it, there is no hope of winning. Now, as long as the two people refining the puppet beast see who is stronger who wins. Everyone has been looking forward to it for so long, finally waiting for the most exciting moment. Qin Yun's puppet beast is black, Peng Wang's is gray, the size is the same. Well, the two puppet beasts will fight under your control. Qingyu is also a little excited. He feels that his apprentice will be able to defeat Qin Yun's puppet beast and win. Start! Qingyu shouted. The battle between the two puppet beasts began immediately. At the beginning, it was very fierce. They were all pouncing and tearing. The puppet beast is made of Xianyuan steel. When colliding, it also splashed a group of violent shock waves. Just a moment later, there are many damaged places on the bodies of the two puppet beasts, big pits, and other scratches. What a strong puppet beast! It can completely defeat the martial down 9th level martial artist. Even if it is the spirit martial realm martial artist, encounter this level of puppet beast may not be able to defeat. Qin Yun is only martial Dao 9th level. How can he refine such a powerful puppet beast? This guy is really a genius. His own strength is very strong, and his talent in the Tao of inscription is even more terrible. The totem rune he carved is not a golden ape totem, but a beast totem similar to a tiger beast. What is the origin of Qin Yun? He has this kind of inscription ability, certainly not self-taught, right? Where did his two totems come from? As the crowd was surprised, Qin Yun's black puppet beast suddenly opened its mouth and bit the other's neck. Kacha! This crisp sound came out. Peng Wang's gray puppet beast's neck was bitten off a large piece. This is impossible. The refining materials of the two puppet beasts are the same, so the strength is the same. It is impossible to bite each other. The most surprised is Qingyu. He quickly shook his head and said, "The puppet beasts were all created by him." In his opinion, the strength of these two puppet beasts were about the same. If they were to fight, it would only be a matter of who could last until the end. When the two puppet beasts were full of energy, it was impossible for them to crush one side. But now, Qin Yun's puppet beast had bitten off the neck of Peng Wang's puppet beast. Qingyu suddenly thought of something and shouted in alarm. "Qin Yun, your totem is Xian totem?" When everyone heard this, waves of exclamations instantly erupted, and they didn't dare believe this was true. Mystic totems were rare, especially the totems used to make puppets. Most of them were spirit-level totems. It was extremely rare for someone to possess a Xian-level totem and also be an inscription master. When everyone obtained a totem, it was the most basic spirit totem. It needed to evolve into a Xian totem later. Qin Yun's puppet beast became more and more ferocious as it fought. It flew over and bit the other party's neck. Kacha! With a bang, the puppet beast's head rolled onto the ground. Granny Ma's cold face was suddenly filled with a smile. Immortal Weapons City won. Everyone started shouting as well. Qin Yun, a young man of 9th level martial Dao realm, actually defeated a spirit martial realm Xian inscription master. It is a most profound totem carving victory. This kind of talent is as outstanding as Lu Jingming. Several old men of the Lawkeeper Hall all showed a happy smile. Their immortal tools do not have to be given to Qingyu. Although the people from the various families and forces were relieved, they still felt very upset in their hearts. Because Qin Yun is their enemy, and Qin Yun hates them bitterly. "Senior sister, I won." Qin Yun looked at Lu Jingming behind him and said with a smile. He regretted that he did not ask Granny Ma for more things. Otherwise, he would have a big harvest now. Qingyu lost, and his mood is very bad. He has been preparing for this for many years, but still can't win. Qingyu, you said before that this is the last time with our immortal weapon city, and there will be no more in the future, right? Granny Ma asked. This I am somewhat dissatisfied, because my disciple Peng Wang is best at alchemy. Qingyu sighed slightly and patted Peng Wang's shoulder. He spent most of his time studying alchemy, and now he can refine royal great spirit pills. Oh, that's very powerful. Granny Ma looked at Peng Wang in surprise and said, "You have such a good disciple. I am really happy for you." Granny Ma, let's compete again. Let's compete in alchemy. You send an alchemy disciple. Immortal Weapon City should also have young alchemist, right? Qingyu said his face is not reconciled, because after this, he can no longer find Immortal Weapon City to compete, and there's no chance to get that immortal tool. Qingyu, we have no young alchemist to compete with you. Granny Ma smiled. You give up. How about this? If you win, I will give you the inscription spirit, Wildfire. Qingyu gritted his teeth and made a difficult decision. That is the inscription spirit I just got. As long as I get the Wildfire inscription spirit, Inscription Master can get twice the result with half the effort when carving fire attribute runes. Inscription spirit is a good thing, and it is a very rare wildfire. Wildfire inscription spirit is very practical. That's because fire attribute runes and totems are very common and can be used in many places. The inscription masters present all exclaimed in an instant. Qingyu, how about the disciple of my Medicine Immortal Valley compete with you? An old man from Medicine Immortal Valley quickly shouted. If I win you, what can you give me? Your medicine, Immortal Valley's immortal tool? I don't like that piece of junk. Yu curled his lips. An old man from Azure Flame Immortal Mountain also shouted anxiously. Yu, our Azure Flame Immortal Mountain also wants to compete with you. What do you want? Our Azure Flame Immortal Mountain can afford it. We will definitely give it to you. As long as I win, you give me the immortal tool of Immortal Weapon City, and I will compete with you. Yu smiled. I don't want anything except the immortal tool of Immortal Weapon City. Azure Flame Immortal Mountain mainly cultivates fire, and Medicine Immortal Valley is the same. They often use fire. If they have Wildfire Inscription Spirit, they can carve better and stronger fire attribute runes, which is of great help to them. Inscription Spirit is very rare. The Star-Lord Inscription Spirit that appeared before made the sect masters of the major sects go crazy. The elders of those sects saw that Yu is so persistent and shook their heads. Granny Ma, you also saw how precious the Wildfire Inscription Spirit is. In order to let Granny Ma agree, Yu took out a big bead. Inside the bead in his palm, there is a cluster of flame. Inside the beating flame, there are many strange lines, burning and spewing flames, like a variety of fire runes. Yun is very excited. Yu, you go back. Granny Ma, of course, knows the preciousness of the Wildfire Inscription Spirit, but she does not dare to take risks. They finally got through the tribulation, and now they can't take risks again. Yu sighed and just turned around. Yun walked up and said, Senior, how is this thing? Is it a good thing? Yun took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron, and the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron was made very small by Yun. Only by approaching can you see the runes on the body of the cauldron. Yu frowned and found that there are 9 groups of Heavenly Lion Totem runes on it. He suddenly trembled. Good thing, Yu exclaimed. I and your disciple compete in alchemy. I win, this thing is yours. You win, the Wildfire Inscription Spirit is mine. Yun quickly put away the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. Everyone was curious and wanted to know what Yun had just taken out. It actually made Yu so excited. Yun has several ancient Dao tools and also mastered Xian level totem. The things he took out made Yu so excited, which made people even more curious about his origin. The most incredible thing is that Yun actually knows alchemy. Good. Can you refine pills? Yu nodded and agreed, but he couldn't believe that Yun could refine pills. Refine Royal Grade Spirit Pill. No problem. I also know a little about alchemy. Yun smiled. It is not surprising that inscription masters know alchemy. After all, the Tao of inscription is much more difficult than refining pills. Moreover, the tools needed to refine pills need to be refined by inscription masters. Granny Ma and others really did not expect that Yun actually hid so deep. Mu Feng just saw Yun's small cauldron and also knew that it is Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron, a very precious thing. Well, if Peng Wang loses to you again, I will be convinced. Yu smiled. He knows the value of Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron and even thinks that Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron is better than the immortal tools of Immortal Weapon City. Ling Yun also told Yun that Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron is a Dao tool that knows how to evolve. Because the totem runes on it are very strong, it can evolve into an immortal tool in the future. This guy's a person who knows what's good. Xiao Yun, don't lose Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. That's a very good thing. Ling Yun said, Rest assured, I don't refine many pills, but my level is not low. Yun feels that through the 9 Sun Divine Spirit, he can absorb 9 Sun spiritual energy and improve the quality of pills during alchemy. Also, the medicinal pills and equipment he refined were all very good. They are refined according to the blueprints on the mysterious pill scripture, using Star Rune and Moon Rune refining. In the competition to refine pills, the tools used are generally used. Refine a more commonly used Royal Grade Spirit Pill, Myriad Poison Purging Pill. You have to refine it within an hour. Whoever has higher quality wins. Yu said, Good. Yun heard of this kind of pill for the first time. and did not know how to refine it. He said, "I don't have medicinal herbs." "Rest assured, I will provide the medicinal herbs." Ing Qingyu smiled and then took out some medicinal herbs. There are white jade-like ginseng, black snake gall fruit, purple leaves, and a green mud-like rhizome. Chapter 575. Immortal Fire Alchemy. Qin Yun took out his own alchemy equipment, which is the Xian level alchemy equipment that he used to refine Bone Spirit Xian Pill. Although it is specifically used to refine Bone Spirit Xian Pill, it can also be used to refine other spirit level pills. The main purpose of that set of equipment is to optimize the medicinal materials needed for Bone Spirit Xian Pill, which can better support the medicinal materials of Bone Spirit Xian Pill. Very good. Ing Qingyu looked at it and did not find any storage space inside and was relieved. He did not see the star rune and moon rune inside, because when Qin Yun was refining, they were hidden inside, and most of them are dark lines. Ing Qingyu's apprentice is very good at refining and alchemy. However, Ing Qingyu himself is not very proficient in these two aspects. He is only responsible for guiding. It is not him who guides his apprentice to learn Tao of inscription. It is someone else. It is Ing Qingyu who want to find various old Tao inscription masters to help guide. Qin Yun casually took a set of medicinal materials and looked at these medicinal materials. He also has some headache, because he does not know which to refine in a powder and which to refine in a liquid. Qin Yun and Peng Wang both took the medicinal materials. "Senior, I also want to check Peng Wang's alchemy equipment." Qin Yun suddenly said, "If the other party cheats, he will lose Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron." "Yes." Ing Qingyu smiled very confidently. Qin Yun quickly walked over and picked up Peng Wang's golden round pill furnace. "Just one?" Qin Yun asked. "Oh, you don't know? Now the alchemy equipment is integrated. Your method of refining medicinal liquid and medicinal powder separately is a very ancient technique." Ing Qingyu said. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley also laughed. "Qin Yun, who did you learn alchemy from? It is still so old and backward." Two alchemy equipment are separated. This requires you to take care of two equipment at the same time, not only energy consumption, but also divert attention to take care of them. Then take them out and put them into the pill furnace to refine pills. This requires a third equipment. This process is very cumbersome, and during the conversion back and forth, there may be more energy poured in. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley have pointed Qin Yun. They are indeed experts in this regard. Of course, the ancient method that Qin Yun was using was still being used by a number of people. When Qin Yun heard the words of the Medicine Immortal Valley people, he also felt that what they said was reasonable. That was because he also felt that if he only used one tool, he would be able to turn the medicinal ingredients into pills in one go. Qin Yun returned to his position and took out a pill furnace. This pill furnace was also refined by him according to the blueprints of the mysterious pill scripture. Seeing him take out the pill furnace, Ing Qingyu also walked over to inspect it. After checking, Ing Qingyu took out an hourglass and said, "The time is 2 hours. Start now." After the hourglass turned over, Peng Wang put 4 kinds of medicinal herbs into the furnace. Qin Yun was somewhat dumbfounded. He had planned on seeing what herbs Peng Wang refined into medicinal powder and what herbs he refined into medicinal liquid. "Qin Yun, aren't you going to begin?" Granny Ma shouted softly from behind. I need to prepare my mood." Qin Yun looked at the medicinal herbs in a daze. "Qin Yun, have you not refined the myriad poison cleansing pill?" Ing Qingyu frowned and asked, "This is a very commonly used royal grade spirit pill. If you learn alchemy, you should know." "I really haven't refined it." Qin Yun smiled bitterly. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley once again burst into laughter. The others also followed suit. Ing Qingyu is very happy, shook his head and smiled. "You have not refined the myriad poison cleansing pill, and you are so confident that you can compete with Peng Wang? Do you think that alchemy is as easy as carving totems?" "Of course not." Qin Yun snorted. Ing Qingyu felt that Peng Wang would win this time, because Qin Yun is not so proficient in alchemy. Granny Ma secretly rejoiced that Qin Yun did not represent a mortal weapon city to compete. Otherwise, they would have suffered heavy losses. Everyone is also looking at Qin Yun's joke. They also feel strange. Where does Qin Yun's confidence come from? He actually used very precious things to compete. This time I am in trouble, Qin Yun said in his heart. Yuna, you give me some ideas. White jade ginseng, green mud roots are used to refine medicinal powder, black fruit, and purple leaves are used to refine medicinal liquid. Ling Yuner said. Are you sure? Qin Yun asked in his heart. What can I do if I am not sure? Anyway, the medicinal herbs are transformed into medicinal liquid powder, and the medicinal power is still there. Wait for me to use immortal fire to help you burn the pill. The quality should be guaranteed, Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and then removed the dirt on the medicinal herbs and did as Ling Yuner said. After he put the medicinal herbs in the 2 boxes, he injected the flame and let the 2 boxes release a special power to transform the medicinal herbs in the box into medicinal powder and medicinal liquid. After seeing Qin Yun start, the people of Medicine Immortal Valley laughed loudly. Qin Yun, you will lose. You are messing around. All you medicinal herbs can only be refined into medicinal liquid. An old man of Medicine Immortal Valley said loudly. Yu also smiled and said nothing. He is more confident. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley know these medicinal herbs better, and they all know which should be refined into medicinal powder and which should be refined into medicinal liquid. Seeing Qin Yun tossing and turning, they know that Qin Yun has no level. Qin Yun cursed a few words in his heart, but did not stop. Don't worry about them. They are not necessarily right. Ling Yun said. Medicinal powder and medicinal liquid are the root of medicinal herbs. If they're mixed together, they can eventually form a pill. Maybe it is just the quality, but don't forget your refining tools, coupled with my control and release of immortal fire. The quality is definitely very high. Ling Yun is also worried that Qin Yun will let his imagination run wild and lose his sense of propriety. Qin Yun certainly believes in Ling Yun so no matter what the people of Medicine Immortal Valley say, he will refine with peace of mind. Mu Feng is very worried that Qin Yun will lose the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron, which is a very precious thing. Qin Yun proceeded steadily. After 2 hours, he finished refining the medicinal powder and medicinal liquid. Then he put the medicinal powder and medicinal liquid into the pill furnace, used his mental power to knead it into a ball, and then released the flame to refine. When releasing the flame, Ling Yun will absorb the immortal energy and condense the immortal fire. Yun you control it well. Don't burn those materials. Qin Yun is a little worried and told Ling Yun You can rest assured, I don't know how rich my experience is. Ling Yun smiled very confidently. I will definitely win his wildfire inscription spirit. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley are waiting to see Qin Yun make a fool of himself. It has to be said that Ing Chengyu's disciple Peng Wang, when refining, went very smoothly. He finished refining half an hour in advance. And Qin Yun is still there, with a sad look on his face. Master, we will win this time. Peng Wang wiped his sweat and smiled happily. That is Qin Yun, this kid. He has talent, but he has not studied hard, so he is like this. Ing Chenyu smiled and tidied up his messy hair. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley think that Qin Yun has no chance. Because when Qin Yun refined the myriad detoxification pill, he did not strictly deal with the medicinal herbs, which is a taboo in alchemy. The difficulty of myriad detoxification pill is to use all the medicinal liquid to refine the pill, so the pill will be relatively small. If you refine some of the medicinal herbs into medicinal powder, although it can also condense the pill, the quality will drop a lot. Qin Yun is so reckless. It is not bad to be able to refine a pill. Don't expect to win against a professional alchemist. For Qin Yun's inscription technique, everyone is quite admirable. But alchemy is not good. Medicine Immortal Valley is the authority in this regard. So many people believe in their words. Finally, 2 hours passed. Qin Yun took out a gray pill from the pill furnace. This kind of pill is originally gray, but the quality is high and low. It is difficult to judge directly from the appearance. However, Qin Yun's pill also has a pill fragrance, and it smells very good. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley saw Qin Yun's pill, and their faces were also surprised. Because according to their experience, this is a qualified myriad detoxification pill. However, according to Qin Yun's method of refining just now, it is impossible to refine a qualified pill. The most puzzling thing is that the pill refined by Qin Yun is relatively big. The reason why it could be so big is also because Qin Yun used medicinal powder. In contrast, the myriad detoxification pill refined by Peng Wang is much smaller. Ying Qingyu, who has been smiling, also put away his smile at this time. The myriad poison cleansing pill refined by Qin Yun looked like it was up to standard. It was just too abnormal. Let's start testing the quality. Ying Qingyu took out a tool, which is specially used to test the quality of the pill. This tool is more common. People who often go to buy pills will have such a tool. It is mainly used to test the quality when buying medicinal herbs to avoid being cheated. The testing tool is a box. After the lid is closed, there is a transparent place on the lid, like a crystal, which will show the value. Ying Qingyu first tested Peng Wang. 72 quality. Very good. Ying Qingyu breathed a sigh of relief. Granny Ma also came to test. Although Qin Yun is not representing Immortal Weapon City in the competition, she also has to show that she cares about Qin Yun. 72. Granny Ma nodded. The old man from Medicine Immortal Valley said, 50 quality is qualified. 72 quality is in the upper quality. It's my turn. Qin Yun is also a little nervous. If he loses, Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron will be gone. Ying Qingyu took it, and after testing, his face changed. 78. Granny Ma shouted in surprise when she saw it. I won. Qin Yun's suspended heart finally relaxed as he revealed a smile. Senior, the wildfire inscription spirit is mine. The people of Medicine Immortal Valley shouted that it is impossible, because Qin Yun's refining method is not right at all, but he can refine a good quality. Here you go. Although Ying Qingyu is very sad, he still took out the bead and handed it to Qin Yun. Qin Yun got the inscription spirit, and it is a very good violent fire, which made many people sigh with emotion. A person in his 20s, not even in the spirit martial realm, got this kind of thing that even martial emperors want. Chapter 576. 576 Chapter 576 Bone Dragon is mine. Qin Yun took the wildfire inscription spirit and was very happy. After looking at it, he put it away. Thank you, Senior. Qin Yun smiled. You are welcome. This is what you deserve. Ying Qingyu sighed. Perhaps this is my destiny. I want to pursue a good weapon, but I can't get it. This is just your opportunity has not arrived. Qin Yun smiled. Qin Yun, you must live well. I will come to you again. Ying Qingyu looked at Qin Yun and said with a serious face, You must keep that thing for me. Let's go. Ying Qingyu, with a sense of loss, quickly left the square with his 3 apprentices. This time, Ying Qingyu's biggest harvest is Qin Yun. He got the wildfire inscription spirit. Those family powers are the most jealous. A long family old man with martial king strength came out and said, Granny Ma, Qin Yun got the inscription spirit. It should be handed over to our Immortal Weapon City. If it were not for our Immortal Weapon City, he would not have this opportunity. After Qin Yun heard this, he said angrily, Dream on. If you dare to be so arrogant, believe it or not, I will use this inscription spirit to reward the heads of all the martial kings in your Long family. You dare? The Long family old man was horrified and shouted angrily, You say I dare not? Qin Yun sneered. The Long family old man did not dare to say anything. Granny Ma said, The inscription spirit is won by Qin Yun himself. We have no right to interfere. At this time, an elder of Immortal Weapon City said, Granny Ma, Qin Yun got a very powerful bone dragon in the heavenly beast desolate domain. Because according to the previous agreement, the temporary disciples who go in must hand over the things they get. You shut up, Qin Yun said angrily. I entered the heavenly beast desolate domain with my own strength and did not enter through that door. Whatever I get in there, it belongs to me. If you don't want to, then expel me from Immortal Weapon City. Qin Yun's inscription technique is so brilliant. His talent is so high, and he mastered 2 totems. How could a mortal weapon city expel him? Qin Yun, don't be so selfish. We just want you to hand over the Bone Dragon to the Lawkeeper Hall to enhance their strength. That kind of thing is best given to the Lawkeeper Hall's Azure Dragon Law Protector. The Elder sneered. They're jealous of the good things Qin Yun has obtained, so they want Qin Yun to hand them over. Even if they could not obtain it, all they needed to do was watch Qin Yun lose it. Bastard, I'll give you the Bone Dragon. Can you afford it? As Qin Yun spoke, he released the Bone Dragon. As soon as the Bone Dragon appeared, it let out a heaven-shaking roar and floated in the air. The huge body of the dragon coiled in the air, and the mighty dragon head looked down. Looking at this mighty and huge bone dragon, everyone exclaimed again and again, feeling incomparably shocked. Many people were secretly envious of Qin Yun for having such a good item. The elders of the family forces shouted one after another, asking the Lawkeeper Hall to take back the Bone Dragon. The Bone Dragon was Qin Yun's, and he had refined it into a Bone Dragon puppet. He would never hand it over. Why can't I afford it? The elder laughed twice. Watch how I take the Bone Dragon. The elder was very confident. He flew into the air and took out a storage Xian tool. Qin Yun smiled coldly and quickly controlled the Bone Dragon to attack. The huge body of the Bone Dragon danced flexibly and roared fiercely. The tail quickly swung out and slammed on the old man. Bang! When the tail hit, there was a terrible explosion. That's because the speed of the tail sweep is too fast. It can directly explode the air. After the elder was swept by the tail, he fell heavily to the ground. The floor tiles of the square were smashed and a pit appeared. The elder was also swept by the tail, and his body was covered with blood, and the bones in his body were broken. A spirit martial realm martial master actually dares to subdue my Bone Dragon. Qin Yun sneered. When everyone saw the elder who was seriously injured, they all took a deep breath. Qin Yun is only at the 9th level martial Dao realm, but the Bone Dragon he controls has such a powerful strength. This is obviously not a puppet. If it is a puppet beast, its strength will also be limited because of its master. What they did not know is that this Bone Dragon puppet was refined by Qin Yun, and the puppet's strength is closely related to the control of mental power. Qin Yun's mental power is stronger than most spirit martial realm martial masters, so the Bone Dragon puppet he controls is also very strong. An elder of a family power quickly stood up and angrily rebuked Qin Yun. You bastard, you actually injured an elder of our sect. You should be punished for offending your superiors. Qin Yun said coldly. He wants to subdue my Bone Dragon, and my Bone Dragon will resist. His strength is weak, and he can't dodge in time. Who can he blame? All right, then I'll subdue it. The elder is a Xian martial realm martial monarch. He quickly flew up. The Bone Dragon quickly attacked the old man. Although the attack speed is very fast, it was still dodged. After the old man went up, he took out his storage magic tool and wanted to keep the Bone Dragon inside, but he did not succeed. At this time, the powerful puppet beast is not that easy to be taken in. Granny Ma shouted, Enough! The Bone Dragon belongs to Qin Yun. We have no right to deal with it. Qin Yun seized tens of thousands of genes of heavenly beast bones for our immortal weapon city. The sharing is also very big. Seeing Granny Ma speak and her face is not good. Those family powers can only give up. They just let Qin Yun give the Bone Dragon to the Lawkeeper Hall, so Granny Ma can't say anything. It's over, let's go back. Chu Binyu came over, patted Qin Yun on the shoulder, and smiled. Granny Ma took Lu Jingming into the Immortal Weapon Palace, and other disciples of Immortal Weapon City also dispersed. The people of various sects also left the square in front of the Immortal Weapon Palace with surprise. Qin Yun followed Chu Binyu and came to the outer sect area of the Immortal Weapon Palace, a relatively quiet garden. In this beautiful garden, there are not many buildings, only a dozen houses. Villa Master, will I live here in the future? Qin Yun felt that the environment is very good and smiled. This is the residence of our outer sect elders and instructors. I'll just let you stay here for the time being. I will arrange for you and Jianming to be together. Chu Binyu smiled. You kid, you're almost a Xian inscription master, right? Villa master. You cheated Jianlang Hall master. His flying eagle puppet is a very bad thing. Qin said very disdainfully. Well, I had no other way at the time. I will compensate him in the future. Chu Binyu laughed. Don't be prejudiced against me because of this. Of course not. I will at most be on guard against you, so as not to be cheated by you. Qin Yun laughed. Jianlang Hall Master is a good example. Chu Binyu can become a Villa Master and a guest elder of the Divine Inscription Palace. He can also mix in the outer sect area of the Immortal Weapon City. He must be a cunning old fox. It's a pity. If you had more spirit veins, the Lawkeeper Hall might accept you. Chu Binyu sighed. I don't think this has anything to do with spirit veins. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, The Lawkeeper Hall abides by the rules. It would be strange if the Lawkeeper Hall wants me. Also, I have to say that the Lawkeeper Hall is so old-fashioned, they actually made an exception to exempt you from punishment. Chu Binyu laughed. I thought they would exempt you from punishment for 1 or 2 years. Qin Yun laughed and said, Villa Master, I didn't just exempt her from punishment. Oh, what other request did you make? Chu Binyu asked quickly. When I was in the dungeon, I saw those family disciples were not pleasing to the eye, so I asked Granny Ma to let me beat up those guys. Qin Yun laughed. She really agreed. What a pity. If you know the importance of that competition, you can raise the price and let the Lawkeeper Hall bleed. Chu Binyu sighed very sadly. A great opportunity is missed. I also saw the importance of that competition, but I didn't know it was so important. Qin Yun thought of this and felt very regretful. Don't say, you have a good rest. I will arrange for you to go to Jianming tomorrow. Chu Binyu said. The next morning, Qin Yun was woken up by Chu Binyu and left the beautiful garden. The residence of the outer sect disciples is relatively ordinary, especially the disciples who have just entered the sect. When I was in the Saber-Sword Villa, I originally intended to become a royal grade saber courtyard. I really didn't expect that I would enter the Immortal Weapon City so quickly and become an outer sect disciple. Qin Yun followed behind Chu Binyu and muttered, I don't know how Old Fan is doing. I miss him. Qin Yun, if you seize the opportunity, you can smoothly enter the Immortal Sect. This kind of opportunity will appear from time to time. Without enough strength, you can't grasp it. Chu Binyu smiled. Jianming's residence was a very old house made of green bricks. There were a few relatively low houses in the house. The courtyard was covered with dry and hard soil and was overgrown with grass. Jianming was injured before, but under treatment, he has recovered very well. He is wearing a black suit. His hair is cut very short. His eyes are full of scars. His eyes cannot be seen, but his aura is very scary. Jianming, are you really blind? Qin Yun walked over and waved his hand in front of Jianming's eyes. Although I don't have eyes, I see things more clearly than you. The cold Jianming smiled. Because he had fought alongside Qin Yun, Jianming knew Qin Yun quite well. Well, you will be in a group from now on. In a few days, I will arrange for you to enter the fantasy field and hurry up to fight in the martial Dao list. Chu Binyu said. As long as you enter the top 10 of the Immortal Weapon City's martial Dao list, you can represent our Immortal Weapon City to participate in the martial arts competition. What is the fantasy field, and where is it? Qin Yun asked curiously. Chapter 577. Chapter 577 Fantasy Field. After Chu Binyu arranged Qin Yun, he left in a hurry. Qin Yun looked at Jianming and asked curiously, What is the fantasy field like? Is it similar to the Desolate Domain? Qin Yun, you want to enter the Immortal Weapon City, and you didn't even investigate this kind of thing? Jianming curled his lips and said, The fantasy field is something left behind by the group of immortal soldiers from the Immortal Desolate. Over the years, it has been continuously improved by the Immortal Weapon City and become more and more useful. Qin Yun found it even more interesting. He thought it was just a place, but he didn't expect it to be a thing. Let's put it this way. The fantasy field is an illusion. It is said that some outer sect disciples and main sect disciples will get a special bed. The bed is a bit like a coffin. As long as you lie in it, you can go to an illusion. Jianmeng paused and continued. However, our bodies are still on that bed, and only our consciousness has entered the illusion. That illusory realm can link everyone's thoughts together and create a virtual illusory realm. In this fantasy field, although everything is virtual, the strength is also very real. In short, it is a very mysterious place. In the fantasy field, you can carry out all kinds of battles. Even if you're injured and die, it's fine. At most, you will only feel pain. In this way, you can do whatever you want in the fantasy field and carry out all kinds of crazy battles. After Qin Yun heard this, he was very interested. He wanted to quickly feel the magic of the fantasy field. Jianmeng said again, "The fantasy field is something unique to the Immortal Weapon City. The most powerful thing is that you can temper your body in the fantasy field and become stronger in reality. I don't know the specifics. In short, we will have the opportunity to explore the magic in the future." Qin Yun chose a room, and not long after, Chu Binyu came again. This time, he brought a man in a black robe and a conical bamboo hat with him. He was acting very mysterious. The black-robed person came and took off the bamboo hat, revealing a beautiful and seductive face. The person who came is Demon Moon Island's Hu Jingxian. "Hello, Elder Hu," Qin Yun said with a smile. "You guys talk slowly." After Chu Binyu left, Qin Yun brought Hu Jingxian to the room he had just tidied up. Hu Jingxian smiled coquettishly. "Qin Yun, congratulations on becoming an outer sect disciple of the Immortal Weapon City. What's there to congratulate?" Qin Yun looked at Hu Jingxian's enchanting eyes and laughed. "I didn't expect you to let Xiao Yuelon and Feng Honglan join our Demon Moon Island so quickly. I have to thank you properly. They are both very outstanding disciples. Also, that Qilin Grandma and Bai Xiaolu are also very good heavenly beasts." Hu Jingxian had a gentle and charming smile on her face as her beautiful eyes flickered. She was truly grateful to Qin Yun. Elder Fox, Big Sister and Second Sister are from the Tian and Yu families. I'm worried that the people from these two families will find trouble with them. Qin Yun said, "Our Demon Moon Island isn't even afraid of those immortal sects, let alone the 5 great clans." Hu Jingxian smiled gently. "Yuelon and Honglan have joined our Demon Moon Island. The Nether Moon Palace doesn't know yet. Don't talk about it. Wait until they dig up more people." Elder Fox, is it okay for your Demon Moon Island to go against the Nether Moon Palace? Qin Yun was a little worried. What are you afraid of? The strength of the Nether Moon Palace is not as good as our Demon Moon Island. Otherwise, they would not have to secretly get close to the Medicine Immortal Valley. Hu Jingxian snorted. There are many disciples of the Nether Moon Palace who are complaining in their hearts because they hate those immortal sects very much. Elder Fox, I want to use the Golden Ape Totem to reward the heads of the 3 patriarchs of the Yang family, Tian family, and Long family. Well, there's also the head of the Long family elder in the Medicine Immortal Valley, the guy who took away our 4 ancient Dao tools. Qin Yun said, "No problem. I will help you issue a reward as soon as possible. Your reward this time is more attractive than the ancient Dao tool from before." Hu Jingxian said with a smile. Qin Yun saw that Hu Jingxian agreed and was relieved. This was a method he had used to deter those great aristocratic families. "Qin Yun, someone asked me to tell you something." Hu Jingxian's jade face, which was filled with a charming smile, suddenly turned serious and her voice lowered a little. "What is it?" Qin Yun asked. "Be careful of the new sect master of Immortal Weapon City." Hu Jingxian whispered. "Who is the new sect master of Immortal Weapon City? We are currently investigating, but there is no information. We only know that the new sect master is very strong. I will pay attention to this. I also have many enemies in this Immortal Weapon Palace. I'm always very cautious." Qin Yun nodded and then asked, "Who asked you to tell me?" "That person doesn't allow me to say it. And it's not to let you be wary of being killed by the new sect master, but to let you keep a distance from the sect master. You can't get too close to avoid other things happening." Hu Jingxian is only responsible for passing the message and does not understand the reason. She said with a puzzled face. This new sect master does not seem to be a bad person, but he just wants you to keep a distance. Don't worry, I will remember it in my heart. Qinyan also found it strange. Then we'll meet again next time. I'm busy arranging other things. Hu Jingxian smiled. I'm running around outside now. I'm very busy. Elder Hu, when you are free in the future, you have to take me on a tour of the Spirit Desolate. Qin Yun chuckled. No problem. Hu Jingxian squinted her charming eyes and chuckled. Right. Elder Hu, can you do me a favor? I'm looking for someone. Her name is Qi Melian. Qin Yun told Hu Jingxian about Qi Melian and asked her to help pay attention. Not only did he entrust Hu Jingxian, he also entrusted Mu Feng to inquire through the Divine Inscription Palace. After Hu Jingxian agreed to Qin Yun, she left the Immortal Weapon City. Because she is doing business and has a good relationship with the Immortal Weapon City, she has a special access token and can often come here. Not long after Hu Jingxian left, Chu Binyu arrived. After Chu Binyu arrived, he took out 2 beds and placed them in the yard. The middle of the 2 beds is concave, and there is a lid. It is a bit like a coffin. However, the material used to make the bed looks very strong and special. This is what you need to enter the fantasy field. You put it in your room. As long as you leave the Immortal Weapon Palace, you will not be able to connect to the fantasy field. Chu Binyu said, I thought it would take a few days to prepare it for you. I didn't expect the efficiency of the Lawkeeper Hall to be so fast. It's done all at once. Qin Yun and Jian Meng, after dripping blood on the 2 beds, took them back to their rooms. Then they came out and listened to Chu Binyu talk about the rules of the fantasy field. In the fantasy field, everything is virtual, only power is real. So when you're inside, you can use your powerful strength to go on a killing spree. If you kill a fellow, you can get 2 points. If you're at the 9th level of the martial Dao, killing a martial master of the spirit martial realm will give you 4 points. The more points, the higher the ranking. Points can be exchanged for cultivation techniques, weapons, talismans, armors, mounts, and various magic weapons. So you must use your points carefully because it will affect your ranking. The martial Dao list of our Immortal Weapon City is based on the points of the fantasy field. There's only 1 martial Dao list in total. The main sect disciples of the spirit martial realm and the outer sect disciples of the 9th level martial Dao realm are all in the same martial Dao list. So, you 9th level martial Dao realm, when you meet those spirit martial realm martial masters, it is best to hide far away because they have a lot of points and a lot of equipment. After you go in, you have no weapons. Even the origin sword can't be released. When Chu Binyu said this, he looked at Jian Meng. Villa Master, after we go in, can we only be barehanded? Qin Yun thought that after going in, he could rely on his own weapons. Yes, it is an illusory world. After you go in, you can only bring your strength in. Chu Binyu smiled. Sometimes there will be some elders inside. If you can successfully kill the elders, you will get more points. After you go in, you have to pay more attention to the core inside. It is also very strong. If you can also join a core. Unfortunately, if Mingjiang is not seriously injured, it would be best for you to join his core. You can't cheat inside. That is to say, you can't be willing to be killed by others. Otherwise, the killer and the killed, deliberately cheating to earn points, will be deducted 1,000 points as a punishment. Well, you can try now and try to rush into the top 10. Only by entering the top 10 can you represent our Immortal Weapon City in the Proud Star State Martial Arts Tournament. Chu Binyu felt that it would be difficult for Qin Yun and Jian Meng to enter the top 10, but he did not say it, worried that it would make Qin Yun and Jian Meng feel disappointed. Qin Yun and Jian Meng went back to their rooms and then lay in the coffin. After lying in, Qin Yun had a very comfortable feeling, and then his consciousness gradually became blurred, as if entering a dream. When he opened his eyes, he saw that he was in the middle of a beautiful prairie, and there was only one sun in the sky. Xiao Yun, this is just an illusory space, but it enhances the sense of reality. Moreover, it connects many people's consciousness together, allowing many people to enter the same dream, and then fight in this dream. This kind of actual combat can improve the use of martial skills, as well as increase the rich combat experience. Ling Yin'er also felt that it was very magical and exclaimed, "In this dreamland, I am restricted. I can't imagine the weapon I want." Qin Yun tried, but was unable to produce the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer. Yes, this is the power of the immortal weapon fantasy field. It can build an illusory world that is close to the real consciousness. The advantage is that when there is a cruel competition here, there will be no deaths and injuries, and it can also improve the strength of the disciples. Ling Yin'er smiled and said, "This is a good thing. You have to use it well." Qin Yun nodded and then swept to a place. Just after he ran for half an hour, he met a group of people riding horses, men and women. From a strength point of view, they're all spirit martial realm martial masters. Chapter 578. Fantasy Field. Refining. Qin Yun was surrounded, and there was no weapon in his hand. He could only flee in a hurry. After all, there are dozens of spirit martial realm martial artists. Without the dragon-resisting boots, my speed is a lot slower. Qin Yun just escaped not far. He felt that his body was pierced by a spear. Then, a group of people flew over and fiercely slashed at him. In just a few moments, he was cut into pieces and then gradually disappeared. Qin Yun, who was lying on the bed, opened his eyes and woke up. His body was in pain. "I died in the fantasy field." Qin Yun could not help but curse. "That is a core. I remember them. In the fantasy field, your heavenly lion Xian body and bloodline are useless. Everyone's body is the same." Ling Yin'er said, "This means that your strength is greatly weakened in the fantasy field." Qin Yun now also realized that without the heavenly lion bloodline and Xian body, his strength will be weakened so much. "My totem martial arts should still be able to be used, right?" Qin Yun frowned. "It seems that even the martial spirit can't be released inside. Jin Meng can't use the origin sword. Life is not good. Yes, you can only use martial arts inside. The power of the martial spirit should still be able to be used, but it can't be released outside the body." Ling Yun said, "You wait for the pain in your body to subside and then go in." After Qin Yun waited for the pain in his body to weaken, he lay down again and soon entered the fantasy field. This time, he appeared in another part of the grassland, and he immediately lay down and hid. In the fantasy field, as soon as he closed his eyes, he saw that his score is -1 point, ranking first from the bottom. Jin Meng 2 points? This guy killed a person amazing. Qin Yun was slightly surprised. He was killed by a spirit martial realm martial artist, and only 1 point was deducted. If he was killed by someone of the same level, 2 points would be deducted. He looked at the top 10 people, and he did not know them. Ranked 20th is Ku Mingjiang. His strength is also very good. The higher the people in the front, the stronger they are. They have a lot of points and can exchange for a lot of equipment. Qin Yun thought about it and whispered, "I want to rush to the top 10. It is easier said than done." Qin Yun opened his eyes and looked around. It was still the grassland, the place where he had died. He looked at the traces on the grassland and knew where that group of people had gone. However, he did not chase after him. Otherwise, he would just be giving away points. "Let's focus on our development first." Qin Yun closed his eyes and saw a map. He wanted to go to a safe place and see if he could join a corps. He tried using the shadow power and was actually able to use it successfully. "I wonder if I can summon the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion?" He tried, but did not succeed. However, he could use the power of Earthquake Divine Art. He could also use his psychic power to control things to fly around. "It's daytime now. It's useless for me to use shadow power. I'll use it when it's dark." Qin Yun feels that he can still get a lot of points with shadow power. The immortal weapon fantasy field is still very large. There are rivers, mountains, oceans, lakes, volcanic swamps, jungles, and ancient forests. There are also many beasts. Killing beasts can't be exchanged for points. However, you can use the things on the beasts to make simple defensive equipment, such as bone spears, bone shields, and so on. Beast skin and scale armor can also be worn as clothes, which can increase some defense. People who enter the immortal weapon fantasy field. I don't know if there are any inscription masters. Qin Yun is suddenly very curious if he can forge talismans here. I think it should be possible, because there are also various weapons and talismans for sale. Ling Yun said, after getting the materials, give it a try. In the afternoon, Qin Yun carefully flew on the grassland, and there is a jungle in front of him. Suddenly, he felt an aura behind him. It is the aura of the spirit martial realm. There's someone there. He quickly looked behind him and discovered that it was an old man dressed in black. The old man's speed is very fast. He was only a few kilometers away from Qin Yun, but now he is catching up. Qin Yun sensed the murderous aura of the old man and sped up. He used mysterious star steps and rushed to the jungle. This old guy, a spirit martial realm martial master, what's the point of killing me? Qin Yun saw that the old man is fully equipped, and he will definitely lose if he fights. If he has the power of heavenly lion Qian body, he is not afraid of the other party. Brat, don't run. Hurry up and get it to me. The black-clothed old man shouted with a grin. You wish. Qin Yun has a negative score. If he is killed again, he doesn't know when he can increase his ranking. The black-clothed old man's speed is very fast, but Qin Yun is not slow. He quickly rushed into the jungle. After entering the jungle, it is not so easy to catch up. As long as Qin Yun holds on until night, he can use the shadow force to hide, and he doesn't have to worry about it. The black-clothed old man used to easily catch up with the 9th-level martial Dao Realm kid, and then he was killed. But this time, he chased for more than an hour and did not catch up. It's dark. It's dark inside the jungle. Qin Yun also used the shadow force to hide in the darkness. This old guy has 4 points. Qin Yun hid in a tree and looked at the confused old man below. He is very excited. He doesn't have the power of heavenly lion Qian body, and it is not easy to deal with the spirit martial realm. Fortunately, he still has the power of 3 Dao cores. The power in this area has not been weakened. Qin Yun is on the tree, carefully tracking the old man, thinking about how to quickly kill the other party. The black-clothed old man is also very cautious. Just when the old man was about to give up, Qin Yun suddenly fell from the sky and activated the earthquake divine ability power, and then controlled the divine ability power to flow in his body. Then, he used the power of this divine ability and punched the ground vigorously. The terrifying vibration power rushed down from the sky. The black-clothed old man is also extremely shocked in his heart. He was instantly shocked to the point of pain in his body. After Qin Yun succeeded, he used the 6th-style Forging Dragon, used the 9 Extinction Vibration Dao power, and punched the old man. Little bastard, how dare you sneak attack your grandfather? The old man shouted angrily. You old bastard, you are not even worthy to carry my shoes. Qin Yun snorted coldly. His fists are even more fierce, constantly bombarding the old man's body, causing him severe pain. Although this is an illusory space, the pain is very real. The old man was beaten and screamed. He has no power to resist. At the beginning, Qin Yun shattered his bones and meridians, and then he was hit by Qin Yun's ferocious fists, causing severe pain all over his body. You go to hell. Thank you for giving me points. Qin Yun said and vigorously blasted the old man into pieces. The old man is a spirit martial realm martial artist, a main sect disciple. He was actually killed by an outer sect disciple who just entered the sect. Qin Yun now has 3 points. Finally, it is no longer a negative point. It's night now. I should take the opportunity to find more people. Qin Yun secretly rejoiced that his shadow power has a very good use. Xiao Yun, your Nether Sun martial spirit, can also release a kind of gravity. It is a very strange power. You condense that power into a ball of air and shroud others. It makes others feel that their body is suddenly very heavy. Ling Yun said, You can't control this power now. I can. Is a lot of consumption? Qin Yun asked. Not too much. If you deal with a spirit martial realm martial artist, you can use gravity to press on him and then slow down his speed. Ling Yun laughed and said, It will be more convenient for sneak attack. Unfortunately, after killing people, the equipment will also disappear. Qin Yin thought that snatching a weapon would make it more convenient for him. His current goal is to get a good weapon. Only in this way can he go to the large core and kill them one by one. At night, Qin Yin shuttled through the jungle and encountered several fierce beasts, all of which were killed by his sneak attack. At daybreak, he dug a hole in the ground and hid. He wants to start using the skin and bones of those fierce beasts to refine talismans. Although there is no tool, after he used the flame light fist, he can make his fist become hot. He can use his fist as a hammer and use the 6-style forging dragon to forge the soft bones. Without all kinds of steel, it is possible to use beast bones to refine tools, but it is not that good. The first thing Qin Yin wants to refine is a furnace and then a forging hammer. When carving, he used his fingers to force out the power of the blood soul to carve. With his mastery of the inscription, this is not difficult at all. In here, I can also refine talismans. Great. Qin Yin was very happy and said with a smile, I can refine some body-securing talismans or something. Can I kill? Qin Yin felt that he did not need to join any core at all and could do it alone. He quickly refined the furnace and forging hammer and then used the beast skin to refine a storage bag. Although there is no such material as space spirit stone, as long as there is a high-grade space spirit rune, it can also refine a storage spirit tool. And Qin Yin has mastered the space star rune. Without special materials, he can refine a large storage spirit tool. The beast bones of several fierce beasts were used by him very well. He refined 5 throwing knives and a broadsword, all of which are only high-grade spirit tools, but it is enough for the time being. Then there are high-grade body-securing talismans, a total of 5. They may only be able to freeze a spirit martial realm martial artist for half a second, but it is enough for him to use urgently. During the day, Qin Yin also woke up and left the fantasy field. He waited for the night to go in. Now he wants to fuse with the violent fire inscription spirit, which will allow him to carve fire tribute runes faster. With the guidance of Ling Yun he smoothly fused with the violent fire inscription spirit. After dark, Qin Yin once again lay on the bed and entered the fantasy field. Many of the disciples who entered the fantasy field know that Qin Yin has come in, especially those family disciples. They're looking for Qin Yin everywhere. Their goal is to prevent Qin Yin from getting points and prevent Qin Yin from entering the top 10. The old man he had killed earlier had also spread the news that Qin Yin was in the forest. Chapter 579. Deep in the tiger's den, Qin Yin didn't know about this, but he was still very careful in the jungle. Little Yin, as long as you are careful, you won't be killed. Ling Yin said, whether you can enter the top 10 depends on whether you can find more people. This immortal weapon fantasy field is still very big. How can I find more people? Qin Yin slowly advanced through the forest. In a fantasy field, there is a safe city. You just go outside the city. Ling Yun smiled and said, kill whoever you catch. Anyway, this is not real. The purpose of entering the fantasy field was to go on a killing spree. There will be no consequences for killing people here. Now, Qin Yun is on the way to that city. He walked carefully for 2 days and encountered 3 fierce beasts, all of which were easily killed by him. It's going to be dark. As long as it's dark, I can walk faster. Qin Yin floated in the air and looked at the setting sun in the sky. During the day, he walked slowly in the jungle. Only when it was dark did he dare to fly in the air. With his current strength, if he encountered a large core, he would definitely be killed. Jianmeng, this guy is quite fast. Qin Yin closed his eyes and checked the scoreboard. Jianmeng got 4 points. He only got 3 points. Of course, his 3 points are also surprising. Previously, some people saw that he had -1 point, and now he has 3 points. Obviously, he killed a spirit martial realm. Those who have just entered the fantasy field are all poor and will be weakened in all aspects. It is very difficult to deal with a spirit martial realm martial master. Someone is here. Qin Yin suddenly sensed an aura and quickly rushed into the jungle below. In the air, several people flew over. I didn't see wrong. There was indeed someone floating here just now. A middle-aged man said, I'm alone. Is it Qin Yin? It's very likely. Let's find him quickly. If we kill him, we can also show off. Haha. These people are all Spirit Martial Realm Martial Masters, and they are a small team. News travels really fast. They know that we are here so quickly. Qin Yun secretly curled his lips. He is not worried at all. Because after dark, this was his world. As night fell, the earth suddenly trembled slightly, and a muffled, rumbling sound came from afar. What's this commotion? Qin Yun immediately stopped in his tracks. Horses, Ling Yun he said. There should be a large group of people riding horses rushing in. Could it be that army from before? Are they here for me too? What's there to kill? Even if those Spirit Martial Realm cultivators kill me, they would only get 1 point. Qin Yun is very unhappy. Could it be that they want to show off? Qin Yun was only at the 9th level of the martial Dao. It was not worth it to go through so much trouble to kill him. They had wasted so much time and manpower to find him. Even if they succeeded in killing him, they would only get 1 point. It was meaningless. The army that flew over was indeed looking for him. The sky darkened. Qin Yun hid in the darkness and carefully flew on top of the tree. The group of people riding on strong horses slowed down their pace after they came in. This should be the edge of the jungle. I will be able to get out soon. Qin Yun looked at the direction of the horses rushing and was secretly happy. Then he carefully flew over. There are a total of dozens of people riding horses. They're the corps that killed Qin Yun before. Our Balong corps should be the first corps to come here. We must catch Qin Yun. As long as we catch him and torture him a little bit, we don't have to kill him. He will never be able to earn points. This trick is really ruthless, but I like it. We take Qin Yun back and just keep him in the cage. If we don't let him go out to earn points, he won't be able to enter the top 10. Those people whispered their aura is not weak. They're all very strong Spirit Martial Realm martial artists. After Qin Yun heard it, he was also very angry. If he was caught and locked in a cage, he would not be able to leave the fantasy field and would need to sleep for a long time. In the fantasy field, if you want to go out, no one can be nearby. If you suddenly leave the fantasy field in the battle, or in the case of other people, that person will be deducted 1,000 points as a punishment. This is to prevent people from escaping the battle in the fantasy field. If you're caught and locked in a cage and someone is watching, you can't wake up and can't leave the fantasy field. You need to sleep in the coffin bed. If you wake up, you will be deducted 1,000 points. Therefore, being arrested was a very vicious punishment. Balong Corps should be formed by the Long family. Do they want to retaliate against me in this way? It's really vicious. Qin Yun cursed in his heart and then came up with a plan. He quickly appeared and pretended to run away. The middle-aged men also immediately found him and quickly chased after him. Not long after, Qin Yun was surrounded. Are you Qin Yun? Haha, you're caught by us. A middle-aged man took out a rope and tied Qin Yun up. Then several other middle-aged men also took out ropes and tied Qin Yun up like a dumpling. Qin Yun tried it before. He can also use the mysterious penetration divine ability, so these things can't tie him up at all. Big brother, we caught Qin Yun. A middle-aged man took out a sound transmission conch and shouted happily. Good, bring it back quickly. A very happy laughter came from the sound transmission conch. In this way, he was tied up and taken away. After dawn, he was taken under a big mountain. There is a cave here, obviously the headquarters of the Balong Corps. Qin Yun was escorted into a stone chamber in the deepest part of the palace. In that stone room, there's a cage made of beast bones. Qin Yun is locked in the cage. Outside the cage, there are several people guarding. The guard are only 9th level martial Dao realm. They are watching here to prevent Qin Yun from leaving the fantasy field. The Balong Corps caught Qin Yun and also publicized this matter. Qin Yun was locked in the cage for a few days. He also saw many leaders of the Balong Corps. All of them are spirit martial realm. And there are people from other corps who also came here to see Qin Yun. Qin Yun, I'm a disciple of the Yang family. I didn't expect you to be here today. Ha! You will be trapped here forever. If you don't mind being deducted 1,000 points, quickly leave the fantasy field. The Balong Corps really has a bit of skill. They actually caught Qin Yun alive. If you kill him, you just hit a point. It's not a fart. Yes, this is the best way to lock him up so that he can't enter the top 10. can't get the cultivation method through points. The most powerful thing in our immortal weapon city is this fantasy field. We all get powerful strength through this fantasy field. He is locked up and can't become stronger through the fantasy field. The commanders of a few regiments were laughing heartily here. They are all people of family power. Being able to make Qin Yun fall into such dire straits was something they were very happy about. Let's go out and kill people and rush into the top 10 as soon as possible. A middle-aged man laughed. Although they are the heads of large corps, none of them enter the top 10. It's really not easy to enter the top 10. After they left, there are still a few people looking at Qin Yun. Qin Yun released his mental force and sensed that there are more and more people outside. He also felt that it was time to take action. After dark, many people of the Ballon Corps gathered here. The people who guard Qin Yun also take turns to guard him. They have to maintain full energy. Everyone knows that Qin Yun entered the fantasy field not long ago. When they caught him, they didn't see anything on him. Qin Yun originally had a storage bag, but after he refined it, it could be hidden inside his body and it would not be discovered. So they didn't guard against him. At night, Qin Yun took advantage of the 5 guards not paying attention to release a few throwing knives and then used Imperial Spirit technique to control the throwing knives to fly out. Shwa shwa shwa. The throwing knives flew out and penetrated the heads of the 5 people, killing them instantly. He used the mysterious penetration divine ability and left the cage. In just a short while, he got 10 points. Those dead guys will soon enter the fantasy field. At that time, they won't appear here. While they haven't leaked information, I want to kill as many people as possible. Qin Yun passed through the stone door and left the stone room. After going out, he came to a very spacious lobby. Many people gathered here, listening to a middle-aged man explain some martial Dao knowledge. After Qin Yun came in, he immediately controlled the throwing knives to fly over. He also held a knife and used the 6-style Wind Slayer to kill those 9th-level martial Dao disciples. In this lobby, there are nearly 100 9th-level martial Dao disciples. Qin Yun rushed in and waved the 6-style Wind Slayer. That terrible saber energy, like a wave, one wave after another, rushed to those 9th-level martial Dao disciples. The saber energy is like a raging wave, overlapping and rushing out, killing a large number of people at once. And the 5 throwing knives controlled by Qin Yun also penetrated many people's heads and killed many people. The middle-aged man who was lecturing was a spirit martial realm. He just wanted to resist, but 2 throwing knives penetrated his head and throat, and he was instantly killed. In this lobby, nearly 100 9th-level martial Dao disciples were killed by Qin Yun, and their bodies gradually disappeared. The disciples who were killed would wake up on that bed, and they would feel pain and fear. The people of the Ballon Corps did not expect that Qin Yun, whom they caught, could actually run out and destroy their group. The movement inside is so big that it also alarmed the dozens of spirit martial realm martial masters. They all rushed over one after another. Qin Yun sensed those powerful auras and was very nervous. He is very calm. He now has a weapon and is not so weak. Chapter 580. 580 Chapter 580 Annihilation. Before the martial masters arrived, Qin Yun left the cave abode. When he left, he did not forget to kill all the horses. Those horses are mounts that they exchange points for. They cost 200 points each, which is quite expensive. He doesn't want them, and he can't take them away, so he can only kill them. This will also make the Ballon Corps sad. After Qin Yun came outside, the 20 martial masters of the Ballon Corps also rushed out. Qin Yun, don't run if you have guts. The person who spoke is the commander of the Ballon Corps. He looks very young, in his early 20s, wearing a black armor and holding a heavy sword. If I don't run, do I wait to be caught by you? Qin Yun laughed and continued to run. I am Long Zimming, a child of the Long family. Don't you hate us the most? Long Zimming sneered. I will give you a chance now. Let's have a good fight. How about it? You are a spirit martial realm martial master, equipped and have so many companions. I will not fight with you. Qin Yun coldly snorted and still ran. You can rest assured that they will never attack. Only I, and you will have a fair fight. Long Zimming said. I also want to see your strength. Long Zimming also knows that his core has been destroyed by Qin Yun more than half. He didn't suffer any losses, but Qin Yun benefited from it, allowing him to obtain more than 200 points. Qin Yun just entered the fantasy field not long ago, and he got more than 200 points, which is very powerful. Okay, I will fight with you. Qin Yun suddenly stopped. If he is killed, he will only lose 1 point, which is not painful for him. He wants to fight with Long Zimming to see how his strength is. That's right. Long Zimming smiled proudly, and the heavy sword in his hand slashed at Qin Yun. The speed of his sword is not fast, but it has a very strange power. That strange power has a kind of suction force. Qin Yun originally wanted to avoid the sword, but because of the suction force, his body became a lot slower. In desperation, he can only use his saber to block. Boom! Qin Yun's saber hit to block, and a shock force burst out. Long Zimming's heavy sword also used a violent impact. The energy that erupted from the collision caused Qin Yun's arm to feel a slight pain. Damn, without the heavenly lion Xian body, it's not easy to use. After Qin Yun sheathed his saber, he immediately slashed out a few more times. This time, he used the 6-style Wind Slayer. You're not so good. Long Zimming waved his sword to resist and blocked several swords in a row and repelled Qin Yun. Qin Yun had to admit that he did not have the power of a Xian body or bloodline. It was extremely difficult for him to fight against a martial artist of the spirit realm. Yuner, use that power, Qin Yun suddenly said to Ling Yuner. At this time, Long Zimming also rushed over, roared, and stabbed with his sword. Thunder Flash Sword Art. This is a high-grade Earth Realm martial art. The commander is getting more and more proficient. A middle-aged man who was watching the battle from afar laughed. When the sword stabbed over, it produced a strange suction force, making it difficult for Qin Yun to even move half a step. Rumble. Qin Yun had no time to dodge. Even if he waved his arm to block, it was very difficult and slow, causing his chest to be hit by his sword. Long Zimming used the Thunder Flash Sword Art and rushed over like thunder, sending Qin Yun flying dozens of meters. Qin Yun was lying on the ground. There was a big hole in his chest, and he was in great pain. Qin Yun, you will lose. Long Zimming jumped over and fell from the air, his heavy sword pointed at the ground. His body suddenly rotated and stabbed the ground. This is still the Thunder Flash Sword Art, and it is even more terrifying. At this moment, Ling Yuner released the power of the Nether Sun Dao Core, which produced a very heavy force and rushed to the sky. Long Zimming fell down, his heavy sword rotated and stabbed down, hitting the gravity. Rumble. The violent collision sent out a wave of berserk energy. Suddenly the wind roared, rolling up a large amount of fallen leaves and dust. Long Zimming was shaken out, his arms trembled, and when he landed on the ground, he was a little unstable. Although Qin Yun blocked Long Zimming's terrible sword, he was also shocked and felt severe pain all over his body. Not bad. Really worthy of the reputation. You have a bit of strength. Long Zimming sneered and attacked again. Qin Yun didn't know what kind of power Long Zimming used. It always produced a strong suction force, causing him to move slowly and even difficult to move. As soon as Long Zimming came over, Qin Yun jumped away quickly. He didn't dare to approach Long Zimming at all. Long Zimming saw Qin Yun hiding from him and suddenly said angrily, Qin Yun, don't you want to compete with me? Why are you hiding? Hurry up and get over here. Long Zimming, you may not know, your core killed me once before. Qin Yun smiled coldly and suddenly flashed over. Ha! If that's the case, then it's great. Long Zimming laughed and quickly slashed his sword. The suction force appeared again, and after Qin Yun sensed it, he quickly retreated more than 10 steps. He found that as long as he kept a distance from Long Zimming, he could avoid the suction force. Little Yun, I'm ready to start. You see the opportunity to attack. Ling Yuner suddenly said. Just now she suddenly released the gravity of Nether Sun Dao Core to block the terrible blow of Long Zimming. Long Ziming attacked several times in a row and failed to hit Qin Yun. He was very angry and shouted, "Qin Yun, you coward! If I catch you, I'll definitely torture you ruthlessly and make you wish you were dead." Qin Yun also rushed over. "Catch me? You don't have that chance." After Qin Yun passed by, Ling Yun quickly released the gravity force and pressed on Long Ziming's body. Long Ziming only felt that his body suddenly became heavy and it was difficult to move, but Qin Yun came to him. "Save me!" Long Ziming suddenly screamed. Qin Yun waved his saber and cut off Long Ziming's head. He sneered, "You said before that they would not attack. What about now?" Long Ziming was killed, and Qin Yun also got 4 points. The 20 martial masters of the spirit martial realm also rushed over and surrounded Qin Yun. Then they attacked together. Qin Yun jumped to the sky, then released the power of shadow, hid in the darkness, and disappeared. The martial masters below were all astonished. Although it is night, their eyesight is very good. Even if there are very small things in the air, they can see it clearly. But Qin Yun, such a big person, suddenly disappeared in the air. Qin Yun hid in the darkness and quietly landed on the ground, controlling the throwing knives. Xiao xiao xiao. After 5 throwing knives flew out, they instantly penetrated the heads of 5 martial masters. People in a fantasy field don't have good armor, and Qin Yun's mental power is very strong. The throwing knives he controls are also very sharp, flying quickly and piercing the heads of those martial masters. Hidden in the darkness, he suddenly drew his saber without a sound. 6-style Wind Slayer. With 6 consecutive strikes, he had killed 6 martial masters. The throwing knives also caught up with the first few martial masters who fled and killed 5. The last few remaining martial masters were also injured by Qin Yun's throwing knives. They did not escape far and were killed by Qin Yun's flying knife. Are they wiped out? Qin Yun looked at the gradually disappearing bodies and smiled slightly. The strength of the Ballon Corps is also relatively strong, but now it was wiped out by Qin Yun alone. After all, it was rare for a regiment to be annihilated, let alone annihilated by a single person. Qin Yun's points suddenly became 323. All of a sudden, he ranked more than 200. This made many people who always pay attention to the ranking of points suddenly shocked. In less than an hour, Qin Yun got more than 300 points. It is obvious that he wiped out a corps. Not all disciples are in the fantasy field all day long. Those who are ranked in the top 10 will only enter the fantasy field when they are about to be overtaken to increase their points and maintain their ranking. At this time, the top 10 people also heard that Qin Yun suddenly increased a lot of points. Chu Binyu was also very happy to learn the news. The one-eyed old man frowned and said, "Half of the top 10 disciples are disciples of family forces. I don't know what they will do. I'm also very worried. If they catch Qin Yun in the fantasy field, it will be troublesome." Chu Binyu thought of this and was secretly worried. Being caught in the fantasy field is the most troublesome, especially being captured and constantly tortured. That's the most unbearable. There were disciples in the past who were caught and tortured. Then they couldn't stand the pain and left the fantasy field and were deducted 1,000 points. There are too many disciples of the family forces. If they unite, Qin Yun will definitely be in danger. The one-eyed old man sighed. I hope Qin Yun can successfully enter the top 10. Chu Binyu was originally happy, but when he thought that Qin Yun would be attacked by the disciples of the family forces, he was secretly worried. On the side of the family forces, 4 men and 1 woman were invited to a luxurious hall. These 4 men and 1 woman are the top 10 disciples in the martial Dao list, and they're all disciples of the family forces. An old man looked at the 5 disciples and said, Qin Yun destroyed the Ballon Corps. You should have heard about this, right? I heard about it. A dark-faced youth with big ears sneered. Qin Yun is really capable. He has only been in the fantasy field for a few days, and he has already gotten so many points. The mission of the 5 of you is to capture Qin Yun. Don't kill him, just don't let him have any action inside, and stop his points from increasing. The old man said, Alas, our vacation is coming to an end, and we have to lie in that coffin again. A short man said with an unhappy face. Qin Yun, this bastard disturbed my vacation. I caught him, and I must torture him severely. Don't underestimate the enemy. Although Qin Yun is a martial artist at the 9th level martial Dao realm, he is very difficult to deal with. I heard that he has a weapon, but I don't know how he got it. The old man warned sternly. Chapter 581. Sun and Moon Immortal Bed. Chapter 581. Sun and Moon Immortal Bed. The fact that Qin Yun got a weapon indeed made many people feel strange. Could it be that Qin Yun is refining inside? Someone exclaimed. Fantasy field is just an illusory world. How can it be possible to refine inside? Someone retorted. How do you know if you don't try? In the city, you can use points to exchange for weapons and talismans. How did those weapons and talismans appear? Can Qin Yun really refine inside? Then isn't he invincible? It seems that there are no young inscription masters in the fantasy field. After all, inscription masters are in the Lawkeeper Hall and rarely participate in this kind of thing. The elders of several families were discussing in low voices. The fantasy field was originally managed by the Lawkeeper Hall. So many people don't know much about the fantasy field. In any case, you have to catch Qin Yun. You can't let him enter the top 10 of the martial Dao list. You must not let him participate in the martial arts competition. An elder said. Yes. The disciples nodded in agreement. After Qin Yun found a place where no one was around, he left the fantasy field. He got up from the bed and walked around the room. Although I have been lying for a long time, the function of my body is very flexible. My consciousness is active in the fantasy field, and my body is also affected. Qin Yun was secretly shocked. During the day, if it is not for refining talismans, he does not want to stay in the fantasy field. Only at night, he is the safest to enter the fantasy field. I now have more than 300 points, and the 10th rank guy has more than 3,000 points. Qin Yun is also planning his next move. He only has 8 or 9 months. It is not easy to get 3,000 points in this period of time. Qin Yun came to the yard and did not see Chu Binyu. He could only go back to his room. Although the Immortal Weapon Palace is very large, and there are many outer sect disciples, many disciples usually fight in the fantasy field. Qin Yun, who is in the room, took out the Immortal Graveyard Diagram. He dripped blood on the Immortal Graveyard Diagram mountain range and contacted Siekaru. Siekaru's soul is too strong and her body is too weak, causing her to be out of balance, causing her to be in a state of suppressing her soul all year round. If he wants to contact her, he can only wait until she suddenly stabilizes. As long as Qin Yun had time, he would take out the Immortal Graveyard Diagram and drip blood on it to try to contact Siekaru. Today, after he dripped his blood, Siekaru's sweet and gentle voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Xiao Yun, you entered the Immortal Sect? Siekaru asked. I have entered the Immortal Weapon City, but I'm still just an outer sect disciple. Qin Yun was pleasantly surprised and quickly responded. Immortal Weapon City. Is it the place where the heavenly soldiers of the Immortal Desolate once gathered? Siekaru was somewhat surprised and gently smiled. Wasn't easy to get in, right? It's not too difficult. Qin Yun said, Big Sister Grand Preceptor, why did you want me to enter an immortal sect? There are many immortal sects in the Spirit Desolate. These immortal sects all have an immortal origin that can absorb the immortal energy of the immortal world. You have to think of a way to go to the side of the immortal origin and then use the 9-Sun Divine Spirit to absorb the 9 strands of immortal power from the immortal origin and refine an immortal body. Siekaru said, With an immortal body, I can guide you in some other matters. Qin Yun had always wanted to cultivate an immortal body, but he did not have any clues. With Siekaru's words, he also had a direction. Big Sister Grand Preceptor, as long as I find the immortal origin, will I be able to cultivate an immortal body? Qin Yun couldn't believe it because he learned from Ling Yun, that cultivating an immortal body is extremely difficult. You just need to find the immortal origin. I will teach you when the time comes. Siekaru said softly. Xiao Yun, You have to be more careful and don't be anxious. You can even use a few hundred years. A few hundred years? Qin curled his lips. He couldn't wait that long. This kind of thing can't be rushed. Siakura chuckled and said, "Listen to Big Sister and take your time." "All right." Qin sighed and asked, "Big Sister Grand Preceptor, I lost contact with little Malian. I can't find her. She is also in the spirit desolate. She is very safe and living a good life. I contacted her before. I will contact her next time and ask her to find you." Siakura said, "Big Sister Grand Preceptor, have you contacted Yuelon?" Qin learned that Siakura often communicated with Qi Malian and felt much more at ease. "Of course I have. You three little guys are the children of my good sister." Siakura smiled. "Yuelon didn't say anything bad about me, right?" Qin said with a silly smile. When Siakura heard this, she only giggled a few times. "Xiaoyun, I remember that the immortal weapon city you joined has a very powerful immortal tool called the Sun-Moon Immortal Bed," Siakura said. "Of course, this is definitely a treasure of the immortal weapon city. Only the sect master can use it. It will definitely be protected to the death." "What's the use of this Sun-Moon Immortal Bed?" Qin immediately became curious. "Lying on it, you can absorb the power of the sun and moon. Moreover, you can also enter a strange, illusory space-time world. Your consciousness will stay in the illusory space-time world for 10 days, and only 1 day will pass where your body is," Siakura said. "If your cultivation is strong, you can sleep on that bed for a day, and your consciousness will experience a year." Qin asked doubtfully, "If I sleep for a few days, what's the use of that consciousness staying in the illusory world for a few years?" Siakura smiled and said, "It's very useful. For example, if you learn some martial arts or inscriptions, it will take a long time. If your consciousness cultivates for a few years and your body is in the real world, only 5 days have passed. What do you think it means?" "It means that I can quickly master many martial arts and profound inscriptions, and my cultivation can advance by leaps and bounds," Qin said. "Yes, when many people cultivate, most of their time is wasted on comprehending cultivation techniques and inscriptions. If there is this thing, they can save a lot of time," Siakura said. Qin recalled the competition from before. Ing Qingyu came every 1,000 years to win the Sun and Moon Immortal Bed. Elder Sister Grand Preceptor, in the Immortal Weapon City, there's a very strange fantasy field. Qin simply told Siakura about the fantasy field. After Siakura finished listening, she was pleasantly surprised. The structure of this fantasy field is obviously imitated by the Sun-Moon Immortal Bed. In the Immortal Desolate, there are many sects that use this kind of thing to train their soldiers. Xiaoyun, this fantasy field should be connected to the immortal origin. As long as you look for it, maybe you can sense the power of the immortal origin from it. At that time, you can also absorb the power of the immortal origin to temper your immortal body." Really? Qin also understood why Siakura is so happy. In the Immortal Desolate, this kind of thing can only be activated with the immortal origin, Siakura said. "You go look for it. Maybe you can find something." "All right." Qin is also pleasantly surprised. "Well, after you find it, try to contact me. I will guide you in cultivating the immortal body," Siakura said. "Goodbye." Qin quickly put away the immortal graveyard diagram, then lay on the bed and entered the fantasy field. After entering the fantasy field, Ling Yun said, "Xiaoyun, I suspect that Elder Sister Grand Preceptor often contacts Little Male Yin and Yuelon to guide them in cultivation, so that they can advance by leaps and bounds." Then why didn't she guide me?" Qin said with some jealousy. "Maybe it's easier for her to contact Little Male Yin and Yuelon. Your immortal graveyard diagram is different from their too," Ling Yuner said. Qin did not know how to find the immortal origin in the fantasy field. He closed his eyes and looked at the map. He found that his location is very close to the safe city. In the safe city, there can be no conflict, otherwise 1,000 points will be deducted. The safe city is also a place where the core recruits and buys horses. One of the biggest benefits of joining a corps is that you can get cultivation techniques from the corps leader. Moreover, there are many old martial artists in the corps. If you can get their guidance or practice, you can quickly improve your strength. When going out, they attack together with the corps and surround a few people who are alone. Capture them and let the corps leader kill them, so that the corps leader can get points to rush to the rankings. The accumulated points of the corps leader can be exchanged for cultivation techniques and then given to the corps members to learn. Many outer sect disciples want to join the corps because they can quickly improve their strength in the corps. Qin Yun came to the safe city. The safe city is empty. There are only a few buildings in the middle, and then there are many animal skin tents. Those tents are corps. Those buildings specialize in selling cultivation techniques, talismans, weapons, and horses and other things. As soon as Qin Yun came in, many people saw him. In this fantasy field, he did not hide himself and swagger on the road. Many people have seen him compete in front of the Immortal Weapon Palace Gate and recognized him. There are many people from the Balong Corps here, right? This is also a very strong corps, but it was actually destroyed by Qin Yun. I don't know how the people of the Balong Corps feel at this time. Entering the fantasy field, the strength will be weakened a lot, but Qin Yun still killed a corps. It's terrible. How'd he do it? I really want to pull him into our corps, but I am worried that it will cause big trouble. Many people whispered to each other behind Qin Yun. The disciples of the Balong Corps learned that Qin Yun had arrived and rushed over. Qin Yun also saw Long Zimming. Qin Yun, you kill me once, I will kill you 10 times. Long Zimming shouted angrily. Wait for me to buy something. We will fight again outside the safe city. How about it? Qin Yun said with a smile. When I fought with you last time, I clearly said that I would fight alone, but the rest of your corps suddenly attacked. But even if you are shameless, I am not afraid of you. Long Zimming is furious. His entire corps was destroyed. This is a great shame. If he can't take down Qin Yun, he will definitely be laughed at. Let's fight. Long Zimming did not flinch. When do we start? Chapter 582. Whirlpool Power. That building sells talismans. After Qin Yun went in, he asked and then used 200 points to exchange for a beast-attracting talisman. It can be used 100 times in total. If he is lucky, he can attract dozens of beasts. He wants a lot of beast corpses for refining talismans. Qin Yun's battle with Long Zimming made many people in the corps look forward to it. Before Long Zimming was wiped out, everyone was very curious about how he was defeated. Now, they can finally see the battle between Qin Yun and Long Zimming with their own eyes. Qin Yun came out of the building and saw Long Zimming and a large group of people waiting outside. Let's go out of the city. Long Zimming is aggressive. He is now the object of ridicule. If he doesn't kill Qin Yun once, there will definitely be more people laughing at him. Qin Yun said, Long Zimming, your whole corps is here. Do you want to deal with me together? If that's the case, I have to prepare. I will fight with you alone. Long Zimming said angrily, I mean what I say. I don't trust you. Last time I was fighting with you, suddenly more than a dozen people came to besiege me. They are all people in your corps. If I didn't react quickly, I would have died. Qin Yun sneered. So, even if you want to besiege me this time, I am not afraid. The Balong Corps was destroyed by Qin Yun once, which is incredible. Now, Qin Yun actually clamored to destroy the Balong Corps for the second time. Qin Yun, we didn't expect you to have so many weapons, and you killed us last time because of a sneak attack. Your own strength is only ordinary, and you use tricks to succeed. Long Zimming does not admit that his strength is not as good as Qin Yun. Ha! Are you people in the Balong Corps a group of stupid pigs? So many people have fallen for my tricks? Qin Yun laughed. You nearly 20 people besieged me. What tricks did I use to kill them? Why don't you tell me? I fought with you alone. You suppressed me and called others for help. Now you say that I used tricks. You are really a shameless guy. Long Zimming roared. Qin Yun, less bullshit. Quickly come out with me. I want you to see my strongest power. When everyone saw Long Zimming's angry look, they were all taken aback. Long Zimming is the head of a corps and a child of the Long family. He can become a martial master of the spirit martial realm, and become a main sect disciple. He must have his own excellence. His strength was definitely not weaker than Qin Yun's, because in the fantasy field, Qin Yun's Tao artifacts and other aspects of power are greatly restricted. Even a person with a Xian body would turn into an ordinary body after entering the fantasy field. It could be said that almost everyone had the same starting line. Only by mastering totem martial arts or dual Tao cores would they have a relatively strong power. Previously, Qin Yun had undergone a Tao core test. There was only one Tao core. The only thing powerful about it was the totem martial arts. However, without the power of the totem martial arts would not be very strong. It would not even be as strong as the Earth-class high-grade martial arts. Also, in this place, the martial spirit Xian technique could not be very good. Qin Yun is a 9th-level martial Tao realm. Long Ziming is a martial master of the spirit martial realm. Although he is an early-stage martial master, he has rich experience and powerful Tao power. He is not weaker than a 9th-level martial Tao realm martial artist. Therefore, everyone feels that the destruction of the Balong core is very bizarre. Long Ziming angrily ran out of the city gate. He stood outside the city gate, holding a heavy sword, and shouted at Qin Yun in the city. "Coward, get out quickly!" Qin Yun is also sensing the aura of other experts in the city. Here, there are many disciples of the spirit martial realm. If Qin Yun defeats Long Ziming, maybe someone will suddenly attack him. In the fantasy field, as long as you get points. Some people don't care about face at all in order to get points and are not afraid of being said sneak attack or something. Moreover, those family forces are Qin Yun's opponents. Among the top 10 of the martial Tao list, 5 disciples are from family forces. Qin Yun, get out quickly. Long Ziming laughed. Did you see? Qin Yun is afraid. Qin Yun curled his lips and quickly walked out of the city gate. When everyone saw that Qin Yun really went out, they all cheered up. Qin Yun, a 9th-level martial Tao realm, dares to fight with Long Ziming. It is also very courageous. Even if he loses, it's nothing. After all, it's just a loss of 1 point. Long Ziming is a spirit martial realm martial master. In front of 9th-level martial Tao realm, what is there to be arrogant? It's really strange. How did Qin Yun destroy a core? With his strength, it is a miracle that he could defeat Long Ziming in the fantasy field. Qin Yun took out a saber. The disciples here, all the weapons are on their backs because they do not have storage spirit tools. Qin Yun did not carry a weapon before. Now suddenly took it out. Obviously, there's a storage spirit tool. Storage spirit tool is very expensive and it takes hundreds of points to exchange. Even those who had plenty of points were reluctant to exchange for it. However, Qin Yun has only been here for a few days. He has a weapon and storage spirit tool and hundreds of points, which makes everyone feel difficult to understand. Qin Yun, where did you get storage spirit tool and weapon? Did someone in the Law Keeper Hall secretly provide it to you? Among the crowd of onlookers on the city wall, someone asked loudly with jealousy. The Law Keeper Hall does this, but it is unfair. We are not satisfied. Yes, you must give us an explanation. Many people have followed suit. Qin Yun just entered the fantasy field not long ago, and there's so many good things that is something that many people may not get in a year. Especially storage spirit tool. In this fantasy field, if you want to get good things, you have to keep fighting. Defeat more people to get points to exchange for things. And sometimes, you will be killed and lose points. Therefore, it takes a long time to accumulate enough points to exchange for things. Because of this, the fantasy field can ensure relative fairness. Only through strength can you get points to exchange for things. Most people find it difficult to get enough points to exchange for cultivation techniques, so they can only join the core. Qin Yun heard the people around him shouting and sighed softly. Qin Yun, there's indeed Law Keeper Hall secretly helping you. No wonder you can destroy my Balong core. Long Ziming sneered. You are a weak chicken that relies on others to help. I must defeat you. My things are all refined by me. I only killed a dozen beasts. Qin Yun said loudly. If you don't believe me, you could try refining talisman. In the fantasy field, You are allowed to refine talisman. When everyone heard this, they were stunned for a moment before they started cursing loudly. They can't refine tools, but Qin Yun can. Everyone thought about it and felt that for many years, people who can refine tools will not come here. Inscription masters in the Immortal Weapon City will have special care and basically will not enter the fantasy field. Qin Yun, this strange flower, was not taken away by the Lawkeeper Hall, so he came in. You can't refine tools. Who can blame? Qin Yun taunted, making many people angry and jealous. Qin Yun, you are cheating. Long Zimming is even more jealous. They fought many times to get points to exchange for weapons, talismans, and so on. And Qin Yun can refine a few beasts. If you think it is unfair, let the Lawkeeper Hall change the fantasy field and prohibit refining talismans. Qin Yun smiled and said, Long Zimming, let's start fighting. Everyone, I will let this cheating bastard know that in front of absolute strength, he is simply vulnerable. Long Zimming clenched the heavy sword in his hand, raised it high, then pointed at Qin Yun and said loudly, Qin Yun, you are a lowly bastard. You only use some small tricks. You are not worthy of being a martial artist. I, Long Zimming, today I will enforce justice on behalf of heaven and teach a villain like you a lesson. The disciples of the Balong Corps all cheered loudly. Wait until you win me. Qin Yun held the saber and said calmly, Start. Long Zimming has already condensed his strength and vigorously stabbed with his sword. When a sword stabbed, the suction rushed out. After Qin Yun was shrouded by the suction, it was like falling into the water. His movement became very inconvenient, but he still avoided the dangerous sword. Long Zimming's power cannot be used for intensive continuous attacks. Otherwise, if he stabbed hundreds of times at once, no one could dodge. Although it can't be used intensively, Long Zimming can attack again when Qin Yun dodged, releasing the strange suction and slashing with his sword. Long Zimming's martial spirit is Whirlpool Martial Spirit. The power of the Whirlpool is really powerful. Qin Yun is also very powerful. In the power of the Whirlpool, he can still be as sensitive as a monkey. But if this goes on, Qin Yun will not be able to support it for a long time. I fought with Long Zimming several times, and every time I was killed, it was when I fought for the power of the Whirlpool. The consumption was very big, and finally I couldn't support it and was killed. It seems that Long Zimming will win. When Qin Yun dodged, he had to use the strongest power to break free from the power of the Whirlpool. The consumption is really big. And now, Ling Yin is also looking for an opportunity to release that kind of gravity. Long Zimming was pressed by that kind of gravity once before, so he is also very cautious now. This guy can become the leader of a corps. It's not just a mouth blowing. Qin Yun was secretly shocked. After he was killed by me last time, he has made a lot of progress now. He is very cautious against me. It's not easy to start. Ling Yin sighed, Little Yun, use other methods and finish it quickly. I can only try the common saber technique. Qin Yun said, the essence of the common saber technique is fast and ruthless. The saber is fast, smooth, plain, and ruthless. Every time Long Zimming attacks, the power of the Whirlpool will pause for a moment. Chapter 583. Huaxie Qin Yun took out his saber. The saber looked simple and casual, but the timing was very good, and the position of the saber was also the best. Qin Yun's saber slashed down and originally wanted to cut off Long Zimming's wrist. But Long Zimming was able to react quickly, resulting in the saber only leaving a bloodstain on Long Zimming's hand. This also made Long Zimming give up his sword and quickly took a few steps back. It was really thrilling just now. Just a little bit more, and Qin Yun would have cut off his wrist. Just now, although it was only a flash of light, many people had clearly seen what had happened, and they all secretly exclaimed in admiration. What an exquisite saber! Just a little bit more, and you can defeat Long Zimming. This Qin Yun, he still has real skills. What kind of saber technique is that? It looks like a very casual saber, but it almost took Long Zimming's life. Everyone was talking in surprise. Long Zimming also felt a chill on his back. The saber just now was too sudden and strange. The moment the saber slashed, it was like a beam of light that could turn. It turned in a very fast moment and cleverly slashed at his wrist. There are many saber moves on the common saber technique, and Qin Yun has practiced those moves by heart. As long as he grasps the timing, he can make his saber move according to his heart, and he can cut wherever he wants. However, because of his lack of experience, the saber just missed, mainly because he rarely uses the common saber technique in actual combat. And now, he has more opportunities to use it. The common saber technique needs to be used more. Qin Yun also learned the mystery of the common saber technique just now. It is indeed a very ordinary attack, but it is very effective. Long Zimming didn't believe it. He flew over and released a whirlpool power, which produced a strong suction force and put Qin Yun in the whirlpool. He took advantage of the slow movement of the enemy and stabbed like lightning. Long Zimming's swordsmanship is also very superb. When he attacked with the sword, it was light and fast, but also with a very overbearing power. Qin Yun quickly ran the power of his whole body and tried to dodge. Long Zimming's confident sword, which originally wanted to pierce Qin Yun's chest, now only stabbed Qin Yun's arm. Qin Yun's arm was stabbed, but the wound is very shallow. As a result, Qin Yun, who wanted to retaliate, had no choice but to give up and quickly dodge. When Long Zimming saw that Qin Yun was hit, he was full of confidence. He smiled and attacked even more fiercely. This guy was almost hit by you just now. Now he has learned his lesson and is on guard against you, not giving you a chance to attack. Ling Yun said he has no flaws, but that's only for you. After all, you're only at the 9th level of the martial Tao. If you were a spirit martial realm martial master, you would have killed him long ago. Qin Yun's cultivation is at the 9th level martial Tao realm. It is already very good to be able to fight evenly with Long Zimming. The spectators were also watching very seriously, learning all kinds of techniques from it. Qin Yun's body had already been stabbed 6 times. However, they were all very shallow wounds that did not affect him. This is also something that Long Zimming is very angry about, because every time he almost penetrated Qin Yun's body, he was always avoided. If this goes on, your strength will be consumed. Ling Yun said, I know, but he's not much better. I have 3 Tao cores and should be able to support for a period of time. When he shows a flaw, I will attack. Qin Yun also attacked many times, but Long Zimming was always able to avoid it. Ling Yun also released the power of Nether Sun Martial Spirit, producing a gravity, but it was quickly avoided by Long Zimming. After Long Zimming had the previous training, this time he played very steadily and cautiously, but when he attacked, he was fierce and ruthless. Qin Yun also secretly admired Long Zimming in his heart. After learning a lesson, he actually improved so fast. Long Zimming also felt that Qin Yun was extremely evil. If it was any other martial Tao 9th level martial artist, they would have died many times, but Qin Yun could hold on for such a long time. Qin Yun now seems to be at a disadvantage, but there is no sign of being defeated. Yun, prepare to release, Qin Yun said. After Ling Yun condensed the gravity, she quickly released it. Long Zimming also sensed a stream of air rushing out of Qin Yun's body, and he quickly dodged as fast as he could. The gravity released by Ling Yun slammed on the ground, raising a cloud of dust. The dust rose and shrouded Qin Yun. Just when Long Zimming couldn't see Qin Yun used 9 extinction steps. His body was like lightning, dragging an electric light, very strangely flashed behind Long Zimming. Qin Yun came behind Long Zimming, and Long Zimming still hadn't found it. He just felt a light flashing out of the sand. Hoochie! Qin Yun's ordinary saber slashed out and cut Long Zimming in half. Brush, brush, brush. Qin Yun slashed one saber after another, continuously, and quickly chopped Long Zimming into 8 pieces at once. The terrible thing is that after Qin Yun killed Long Zimming still didn't know what was going on. He thought that Qin Yun was still in the sand. Qin Yun's 9 extinction steps with common saber technique is smooth and fast to the extreme. Almost in half a moment, Long Zimming was killed. 9 extinction steps has a total of 9 steps, and Qin Yun has now mastered the first step, flowing light extinction shadow. The people watching the battle on the city wall can see that Qin Yun suddenly flashed behind Long Zimming. They all feel that this kind of movement technique is inconceivable. However, just a few seconds after Qin Yun killed Long Zimming, a figure suddenly flew over from a distance. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the person arrived in front of Qin Yun and punched. The flaming fist that emitted red light pierced Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun knew that someone would attack him, but he didn't expect it to be so fast. Qin Yun, who has pierced his chest, looked up at the young man standing in front of him. This young man is wearing a set of blue clothes. His face is thin and long. His eyebrows are like swords and his eyes are full of cold arrogance, filled with anger and jealousy. Who are you? Qin Yun's body was pierced, and there is a violent power flowing in his body, making him unable to move. I am Hua Xie, from the Lawkeeper Hall. I warn you, stay away from Junior Sister Jingming. She belongs to me. Hua Xie's voice is filled with monstrous might. It shook the air. I'm only killing you in the fantasy field. If you don't listen to the warning, then you have to be careful in reality. Boom! As Hua Xie spoke, he punched Qin Yun's abdomen again. The fist once again pierced through Qin Yun's body, injecting a tyrannical power into it. It is as if it wants to tear Qin Yun's body apart. Do you feel the pain? Do you feel the fear of death? If you feel it, then that's right. If you don't want to be killed by me, then stay away from Junior Sister Jingming. A lowly commoner like you wants to eat swan meat with just a bit of talent? Dream on. As Hua Xie spoke, he punched Qin Yun's head. Boom! Qin Yun screamed and woke up from the bed. He was killed again. This is the second time he has been killed in the fantasy field. Motherfucker, I lost 1 point. Qin Yun clenched his fists and cursed. Hua Xie, Lawkeeper Hall? Just you wait. He remembers that this Hua Xie is ranked 8th. The Lawkeeper Hall specializes in absorbing talented disciples. For Hua Xie to be able to enter the Lawkeeper Hall, it is obvious that he is very powerful. This bastard thinks I want to chase after Lu Jingming? What idiot. With this kind of trash, he wants to get Lu Jingming? Qin Yun became angry just thinking about it. He and Lu Jingming are only martial sisters and brothers. They can barely be considered friends. As for Hua Xie, he became jealous because of this. In the fantasy field, at the city gate of the safe city, many people looked to Hua Xie and sighed. As expected of someone in the top 10 of the martial Dao list, dealing with Qin Yun is like beating a child. Qin Yun is really unlucky this time. He actually provoked someone from the Lawkeeper Hall. Hua Xie seems to have dual martial spirits and dual Dao cores. He has a Xian body and has mastered a Tian tier martial art. I heard that he didn't have time, so he didn't go up. Otherwise, with his strength, entering the top 3 wouldn't be a problem. I wonder what Qin Yun is feeling now. He was killed in a few moves. Snatching a woman from Hua Xie, Qin Yun is really bold. Everyone looked at Hua Xie, flying far away, and sighed as they discussed. The disciples of the Lawkeeper Hall are all monsters. That Hua Xie is also very terrifying. After the pain in Qin Yun's body weakened, he once again entered the fantasy field. As long as he entered the safe city once, he would be revived in the safe city. It was already dark. Qin Yun cast shadow power and hid himself. Then he stood guard outside the city. There are also many people moving at night. Most of them went out to ambush, which also became Qin Yun's target. He doesn't know where Hua Xie is, so he can only earn points first. Because Qin Yun exchanged for a talisman, he lost more than 200 points. He needed to quickly earn a large number of points and rush to the top 10. Only by doing so would Hua Xie come to find him. That idiot Hua Xie, a martial master of the spirit martial realm. How dare he be so arrogant? If he kills me, he will only get 1 point. When Qin Yun thought of this matter, he became extremely angry. Looks like I have time. I have to go play with Lu Jingming and anger that bastard Hua Xie to death. The forest outside the safe city has also become a place for many people to ambush. Qin Yun is also in the forest. Many people go in and out. They pass through this forest. Qin Yun uses his shadow power. It is as if he is transparent. Then, he controls the throwing knives. As long as he sees someone, he will control the throwing knives to kill them. He discovered that most of the people hiding in the forest are in a small team. Most of them are martial masters of the spirit martial realm. Qin Yun has 5 throwing knives. When he uses his mental power with all his might, he can kill 5 people in an instant. Many martial masters of the spirit martial realm were instantly killed. It is unknown who killed them. In just one night, Qin Yun killed more than 100 main sect disciples of the spirit martial realm and obtained more than 400 points. Now, he has a total of 500 points. Chapter 584. 584 Chapter 584 Life Mark creatures in the fantasy field. When you close your eyes, you can see the ranking of the martial Dao list. The display of points will be updated very quickly. Therefore, many people looked at the points of the martial Dao list early in the morning and saw that Qin Yun has increased by a few hundred points. It immediately caused a great sensation. Whether it is the outer sect disciple or the main sect disciple, as long as they see Qin Yun has more than a few hundred points, they can't believe it. Many people wonder if there is something wrong that caused the points to be wrong. Such a big thing. Of course, the Lawkeeper Hall also knows, but they did not intervene. Obviously, there's no problem. Early in the morning, the safe city was in an uproar, and they discussed Qin Yun's points. After many spirit martial realm disciples discussed with each other, they all agreed that the person who secretly killed them in the forest outside the city last night was Qin Yun. Those disciples have been here for so long, and they have rarely encountered such a hidden sneak attack. They were killed without a sound, and many people had the same experience last night. This can be confirmed that the person who sneak attacked and assassinated them is Qin Yun, so the point soared. It is also because of this matter that many disciples dare not enter the forest. That is to give points to Qin Yun. They will not do such a stupid thing. Qin Yun went to another forest and planned to come back to the forest outside the city at night to continue hunting. He went to the other forest to hunt beasts. With the beast-attracting spirit talisman, he killed more than a dozen beasts during the day. At night, when he had enough rest, he went to the forest outside the safe city, ready to ambush those people. Qin Yun waited in the forest for more than an hour and sighed secretly. They should know that I did it, so they won't come tonight and can only find other hunting places. Qin Yun killed all spirit martial realm disciples. He can get 4 points by killing a spirit martial realm disciple at the 9th level martial Dao realm, which is also the reason for the sharp increase in points. Just as Qin Yun was about to leave, he suddenly sensed many powerful auras appearing in all directions and approaching little by little. Is it a core? Qin Yun was secretly shocked. It is a large core. He doesn't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. In short, it is very dangerous. Suddenly, several core appeared and approached him little by little, which means that he has been discovered. They should know that I am here through those special talismans, right? After Qin Yun knew that he had been discovered, he quickly rose into the air. But just as he took off, he was pressed down by a force. Qin Yun, don't even think about running. Someone shouted in the air, and a palm came down. In the night sky, a huge palm made of white light suddenly appeared. It was made of countless electric arcs. 100 meters long, huge thunder palm fell like a mountain. Rumble. Countless electric threads wreaked havoc in all directions like a torrential storm. This large forest was instantly razed to the land. This large forest was instantly razed to the ground. Qin Yun was pressed down by the gigantic lightning palm. He felt incomparable pain in his body. Because of the intense light, he could no longer hide in the darkness. The person who struck just now was the second-ranked Tian Yaolei. Qin Yun, in order to find you, we spent 500 points. The person who spoke is a handsome man. He is the Yang family's Yang Shenlong, ranked 3rd on the martial Dao list. As soon as Yang Shenlong appeared, he arrived beside Qin Yun like a ghost. Fists that blotted out the sky and covered the earth roared as they pressed down on Qin Yun's body. Just as Qin Yun flew up, he suffered another heavy blow and fell to the ground. After he was hit to the ground, he immediately felt a force surging out from the ground. A dragon's roar came from the ground. The ferocious power of a furious dragon, accompanied by a furious roar, fiercely flew out from the ground. Qin Yun was sent flying into the air. The tall and handsome man who emerged from the ground was wearing a cloak. He was the fourth-ranked Long Quanghong. Qin Yun felt excruciating pain all over his body. All his bones were shattered, and he was unable to recover in a short period of time. After he was blasted into the air, he saw an agile shadow fly into the air, like half a werewolf, fast and fierce. The person who attacked at this moment was called Ji Lang, a disciple of the Ji clan. Ji Lang flew into the air. His hands were like wolf claws as he viciously grabbed at Qin Yun, turning him into a bloody mess. When Qin Yun landed on the ground, a huge net woven from tree vines suddenly appeared and wrapped him up. The last person to attack is rank 5 Long Xiaofeng, the only woman in the top 10 of the martial Dao list. Qin Yun has been caught by me. Long Xiaofeng looked at Qin Yun inside the tree vine net and proudly smiled. Woman, leave such an important person to us men. You are a woman. Why are you blindly interfering? Tian Yaolei landed on the ground. He is ranked 2nd and also the strongest. Tian Yaolei is more than 2 meters tall, like a small giant. His entire body is filled with terrifying muscles. Violent thunder and lightning power burst out from his muscles. It can be seen through his skin. It is extremely frightening. Long Xiaofeng, Qin Yun was injured by us together. You didn't do anything. Long Quanghong said somewhat angrily. Quickly hand him over to us. Stinking bitch, are you in heat? Do you want to have fun with a man in the fantasy field? I can satisfy you. Yang Shunlong laughed loudly and said, Come on, since we're in the fantasy field, let's give it a try. It should be pretty good. It's not like it's reality. I want to participate too. Ji Lang, who is covered in fur, licked his lips and said with a sinister smile. Qin Yun never expected that the people who came to capture him will be 5 experts, ranked in the top 10 of the martial Dao list. He had just experienced how terrifying these people are. Long Xiaofeng controlled the vine net and tightly bound the badly mutilated Qin Yun. She said with a sneer, You want to be castrated in the fantasy field? You have never tasted this before, have you? Woman, what is your intention in capturing Qin Yun? Tian Yaolei's eyes flashed with lightning. The elder told me to capture Qin Yun and not let him continue to score points. It's such a rare opportunity for us to capture him. If you waste this opportunity, the consequences will be very serious. Yang Shunlong said coldly. You are really a bunch of idiots. You don't know how to maximize the benefits. Do you still remember that elder from the Medicine Immortal Valley? He obtained 4 ancient Dao tools from Qin Yun. Qin Yun is a treasure. He possesses the golden ape totem. Don't you want to use this opportunity to force him to hand over the golden ape totem? Long Xiaofeng looked unhappily at the boorish men, her eyes filled with contempt. Tian Yaolei said coldly, Cut the crap. Hand Qin Yun over to me, or I'll kill you. Yang Shunlong, Long Quanghong, and Ji Lang also quickly surrounded Long Xiaofeng. Forget it, you bunch of idiots won't be able to understand. Here, as Long Xiaofeng spoke, she threw Qin Yun to Tian Yaolei. After Tian Yaolei grabbed Qin Yun, he released bolts of lightning to electrocute Qin Yun. He said with a sinister smile, Qin Yun, you killed our Tian family's elder Zhang. Now it's time for you to repay your debt. Tian Yaolei, don't play him to death. Otherwise, all our efforts will be for naught. Yang Shunlong said worriedly, What if we torture him too much and he can't endure it? Qin Yun, if you commit suicide or leave the fantasy field with others around, 1,000 points will be deducted. Tian Yaolei did not listen to Yang Shunlong's advice. He constantly injected thunder and lightning power to torture the severely injured Qin Yun. I will remember all of you, Qin Yun said through gritted teeth before disappearing. Seeing Qin Yin disappear into the vine net, Yang Shenglong, Long Quanghong, Long Xiaofeng, and Jilang are all stunned. Even Tian Yaolei can't believe that Qin Yun actually ran away. They quickly closed their eyes and discovered that Qin Yun's points are negative 400. The 500 points he obtained earlier have actually become negative again, and it's negative by several hundred. Qin Yun woke up from his bed and gasped for breath. He was tortured to the point of suffering just now. Strength, I want strength. Qin Yun clenched his fists and said through gritted teeth. He was previously killed by Hua Xie, and now he was forced to flee by a few disciples in the top 10 of the martial Dao list. He lost 1,000 points because of the disparity in strength. You won't be able to break through in a short period of time. Why don't you start refining the Bone Spirit Xian pill and speed up the opening of the Bone Spirit? Ling Yuner said, I can refine 1 Bone Spirit Xian pill in a day. I should be able to refine 10 pills in 10 days and then eat and refine them for half a month. Qin Yun nodded and took out the medicinal ingredients for refining the Bone Spirit Xian pill. The medicinal ingredients are still not enough. He only took a total of 8 sets from Bai Xiaolu. However, he used the Sun-Moon Divine Bowl to condense the Sun and Moon essence, which can accelerate the growth of the medicinal ingredients. Previously, he condensed it for a period of time and accumulated a lot of Sun and Moon essence. Now he can produce 2 sets of medicinal ingredients at once. He began to refine pills in seclusion. More than 10 days later, Qin Yun refined 10 Bone Spirit Xian pills. I hope I can open the Bone Spirit. Qin Yun looked at the Bone Spirit Xian pill, ate 2, and began refining. 10 days ago, Qin Yun's points became negative, which caused a great uproar. After asking around, the outer and main sect disciples learned that it was the top 10 experts who had made a move together, and 4 of them even brought their own core to encircle and annihilate Qin Yun. Unexpectedly, after Qin Yun was captured, in order not to be trapped and tortured, he resolutely left the fantasy field, resulting in a deduction of 1,000 points. More than 10 days later, Qin Yun's points have not changed. Many people think that Qin Yun does not dare to enter the fantasy field again. After all, negative hundreds of points, it is difficult to catch up, let alone rush into the top 10. With the help of Ling Yun, Qin Yun quickly refined the 10 Bone Spirit Xian pills through the Nether Sun Martial Spirit. At this time, he only felt that the 3 sets of 9 life marks in his body are crazily squirming and raging in the meridians of his body. Chapter 585. Heavenly Lion Bone Spirit Qin Yun is also secretly excited. After successfully opening the spirit, he will be able to step into the spirit martial realm. Bastards of the family forces, just you wait. On the surface of Qin Yun's skin, a burst of black mist overflowed. That is the life marks of the martial spirit moving and evolving. Qin Yun has 2 Dao cores fused with the Heavenly Lion Xian body. The 18 life marks of the 2 Dao cores are distributed throughout his body. At this time, the life marks are evolving and constantly expanding. After the life marks become a living being, it means that the evolution is successful and it can release a stronger great Dao power. At that time, the powerful Dao power contained in the life marks will appear on the surface of the body and release a stronger primordial Dao power. Medicine Immortal Valley, Family Forces, Hua Xie, I will return it to you soon. Qin Yun felt the 3 sets of 9 life marks constantly rampaging in his body. Although it made him feel a little uncomfortable, he also felt that the life marks were strengthening. His 9 Sun Divine Spirit is also constantly absorbing the 9 Sun spiritual energy and a trace of immortal energy into his body. The life marks are crazily absorbing the 9 Sun spiritual energy. The color of Qin Yun's skin is constantly changing and the 9 colors are alternating. When changing, it also constantly overflowed with different colors of mist. In just a moment, the room was filled with 9-colored mist. Qin Yun closed his eyes and only felt the 9 Sun spiritual energy flowing through his body like a torrent. As for the struggling life mark, It was constantly spewing out powerful Tao energy. The Tao power flowed through Qin Yun's body like a thorn, causing his body to feel a sharp pain. Yin'er, why am I in so much pain? Qin Yun could not help but shout. Xiao Yun, your life marks are evolving, but they are also devouring each other. You have 3 Tao cores, so you have 3 sets of life marks, a total of 27 great Tao life marks, and now they are fighting and devouring each other. When swallowing, there's a repulsive force, which makes you feel pain. Ling Yun was also surprised and quickly analyzed the reason and told Qin Yun. Is this a normal situation? Qin Yun endured the pain. You have Nether Sun Tao core, which is why this happened. It is not what I could have expected. Under normal circumstances, after the evolution of the 9 life marks, it would be able to cast a Tao spirit and strengthen your body. Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun's cultivation situation was very different from normal situations. Therefore, there were no examples to refer to when problems arose. Then what's the situation now? Qin Yun felt the pain intensify. I don't know either. In short, it will be fine. You just have to endure it. Ling Yun'er said. Little Yun, hold on. Qin Yun was in so much pain that his entire body was drenched in sweat. He could not help but gasp for breath and scream. He felt as if his body was about to explode and was unable to suppress the pain. Woo woo woo. After enduring it for a few hours, a black aura suddenly emerged from his body, whistling through the air. At this time, he also felt that the life marks in his body were gradually decreasing. The 18 life marks on his body were gradually weakening and disappearing. The life marks that disappeared were devoured by the Nether Sun Tao core. The most frightening thing is that the 9 life marks on the Nether Sun Tao core have become very thick. Like 9 dragons, they wrapped around the black Tao core and overflowed with a burst of black energy. He took a closer look and found that the life marks of the Nether Sun Tao core have turned into tree roots. The Nether Sun Tao core is wrapped in intricate tree roots. The tree roots are like azure dragons and seem to contain infinite power. In the middle of the tree roots, the Nether Sun Tao core is beating slightly like a heart. At this time, the pain in Qin Yun's body gradually disappeared. Yun'er, did you see that? Qin Yun also felt a cool energy rushing out from the Nether Sun Tao core. That kind of energy is not something that the Nether Sun Tao core possesses. I saw it. It's the effect of the tree totem. Your life marks and totem are perfectly fused, and the totem is closely connected to the Nether Sun Tao core and the Nether Sun martial spirit. This is a very complicated situation. Ling Yun'er is also amazed. Originally, the Nether Sun martial spirit should be compatible with the Sun totem, but you got the tree totem in it. The tree totem's growth is very strong, and it is deeply rooted in the Nether Sun martial spirit. It is difficult to separate it. When Qin Yun heard Ling Yun'er's words, he was somewhat worried. He said, the power of the Nether Sun Tao core and the tree totem is what I can use the least. It's because of you that I can barely use the power of the Nether Sun Tao core. Now that my life marks are occupied by the tree totem, will it be difficult for me to use the power of the life marks? At the spirit martial realm, the power of life marks is very important. In the martial Tao realm, Tao power is produced through life marks. When stepping into the spirit martial realm, the life marks evolve and the Tao power released is stronger. Moreover, it can also release life marks and stimulate even stronger spirit power. Don't worry, since the tree totem has fused with you, it must have recognized you. Ling Yun'er said, so it won't harm you and it can also give you more power and help. All right. Qin Yun also felt relieved and quietly waited for the life marks to continue evolving. The life marks originally only appeared on the surface of the Tao core, but now they have turned into dragon-like tree roots, coiling around the Tao core. At a glance, it can be seen that it can release even stronger Tao power. The thicker the life marks, the stronger the Tao power released. The life marks absorb the energy of the Nether Sun Tao core and the heavenly lion Xian body and constantly spewed out a black aura, like a violent flow penetrating into the bones. Qin Yun's Dao bones also gradually changed and are turning black little by little. Your bone spirit is ready to open, Ling Yun said excitedly. It should be very strong. Nine Sun spirit energy frantically poured into Qin Yun's body. Then the spirit energy was transformed and constantly rushed into the bones, issuing bursts of energy, surging sound. Half an hour later, Qin Yun's body trembled violently, and his body issued a burst of crisp sound. Spirit opening, Ling Yun shouted. Qin Yun also felt that the bones of his body seemed to have suddenly undergone a transformation. There seems to be a lot of space inside the bones, which can accommodate more blood and energy. Walala. He seemed to be able to hear the internal force that turned into liquid, accompanied by the boiling heavenly lion Xian blood pouring into the bones. The blood in his body was suddenly drained and all poured into the bones. The tree totem power of the Nether Sun Dao core was suddenly released, making Qin Yun seem to be connected with the surrounding trees. Through those trees, he absorbed more immortal energy and Nine Sun spirit energy into his body and madly condensed the heavenly lion Xian blood. The newborn bone spirit seems to be very hungry and empty and needs a lot of powerful blood and internal force to irrigate. Because the Dao bone has opened the spirit, there is a strange and wonderful space inside, which allows the small bones to accommodate more bone marrow, blood, and internal force. In the past, most of the internal force was only in the Dao core, and a small part of the internal force was distributed throughout the body. Now, after opening the spirit, the internal force and powerful energy stored inside the bones is equivalent to the sum of Qin Yun's 3 Dao cores. It can only be described as terrifying. Your bone spirit is too terrifying, Ling Yun exclaimed. Quickly integrate the heavenly lion bee soul into the bones and promote the bone spirit to large success. You will be a martial artist of the spirit martial realm. The heavenly lion bee soul was given by the heavenly lion old ancestor. Although it is only a remnant soul, it is also very powerful and can grow on its own. Qin Yun has the heavenly lion Xian body, and the heavenly lion bee soul can also grow quickly. The fusion is not to let the heavenly lion bee soul enter the bones, but to let the heavenly lion bee soul and the bone spirit establish a connection. As the soul of the bone spirit, give the bone spirit stronger power. Qin Yun released the heavenly lion bee soul. After the bone spirit received the heavenly lion beast soul, it gradually merged with it. Roar! Qin Yun's body suddenly trembled, emitting a ferocious wave of air. It blew the things in the room into a mess. Great! The power you released is the same as the heavenly lion. Ling Yun laughed. Xiao Yun, you are a martial artist of the spirit martial realm. As soon as Qin Yun clenched his fist, he could feel the fierce power of the heavenly lion inside the bones. Now he feels that his heavenly lion Xian body is complete. I finally broke through. Qin Yun's heart is surging with excitement. After stepping into the spirit martial realm, he doesn't have to run away when facing the disciples of the spirit martial realm, especially the top 10 disciples of the martial Dao list. Each of them is very terrifying. He has seen them before. And now, his cultivation is the same as those main sect disciples. After he merged with the heavenly lion bee soul, he has more understanding of the heavenly lion totem martial arts. Divine power has not increased. It's just stronger. Qin Yun thought that there would be new divine power. Go and see the third pearl of the Nine Sun divine spirit. What is inside? Ling Yun is very curious and urged. Qin Yun quickly tried it. I can't open it. My mental power is not strong enough. Qin Yun frowned. I have stepped into the spirit martial realm, and my mental power has improved a lot. Is it still not enough? Alas, you may need to cultivate the primordial spirit. Primordial spirit transforms into spirit and mental power greatly improved. That is the middle stage of the spirit martial realm. Ling Yun said, don't worry with your talent. You should be able to break through soon. Qin Yun said, I can now enter the immortal weapon fantasy field. I will find those guys for revenge. Well, but still be careful. Ling Yuner said, raise your points as soon as possible. You must enter the top 10. A few days later, Qin Yun lay on the bed and once again entered the mysterious fantasy field. When he entered the fantasy field, it was already night. In the woods outside the safe city, the hunting game has been restored. Last time, the 5 experts surrounded Qin Yun and fought a great battle, destroying the forest. But in the fantasy field, in a very short period of time, the forest can be restored again. Many people know that there are many people lying in ambush in the forest outside the city. And the people who entered the forest are also holding a fluke mind and went in to kill those who ambushed. After the breakthrough, Qin Yun entered the fantasy field and could feel the powerful power brought by the bone spirit, which made him more confident in his own strength. Chapter 586. Strong returned. Qin Yun used the power of shadow, hid in the darkness, and flew in the forest. Many disciples hid here and ambushed those who walked in the night. Some of the disciples who entered the forest wanted to return to the safe city overnight, and some came here to hunt each other. Only in this way could they quickly get points. In normal times, everyone hid well or followed the core. It was very difficult to find them. Especially the disciples who had the ability to enter the core. They were the most difficult to kill. Of course, it was not difficult for Qin Yun at all. He had destroyed the Balong core before. Qin Yun has been in seclusion for more than half a month. During this time, his points have never moved. So many disciples thought that he gave up on the list. Because no matter who it was, as long as they had negative hundreds of points, they would not have the motivation to rush up. One had to know that the disciples who were ranked in the top 10 had only managed to accumulate so many points over a long period of time. Even the powerful core leader wanted to quickly get points. It was not easy. In the forest, the wind blew. Many disciples were hiding here, some hiding in the trees, some hiding in the grass, some hiding on the ground. They were all in small teams, waiting here very patiently. Once there was something, they would attack at the slightest sign of trouble. However, after Qin Yun came in and flew around, he was not discovered by anyone. Qin Yun floated in the air, looked at the forest below, and said with a sneer, "This group of people are here to give points, then I will not be polite." After that, he released the 5 throwing knives. After stepping into the spirit martial realm, his mental power has also improved a lot. He used the Imperial Spirit technique to control the throwing knives, which can be faster and stronger. After Qin Yun locked on to the team below, the 5 throwing knives were silent, but as fast as lightning. The throwing knives entered the forest and hit the ground. A few meters under the soil, the 5 people hiding were killed in an instant. There was some movement on the ground, causing several other teammates who were hiding around to jump down to watch. As soon as they came down, the 5 throwing knives flew out of the ground. Xiao, xiao, xiao. As soon as the throwing knives came out, they penetrated the heads of the 5 people. Very smooth. After Qin Yun killed the 10 people here, he hurried to a nearby place. He had to be fast. He had to kill all the disciples in the forest before anyone knew he was here. Qin Yun had flown 1 round in the forest and confirmed the distribution of many disciples before he took action. In this way, after he killed 1 batch of people, he could immediately go to the next location and kill the second batch. This way, Qin Yun will be able to smoothly clean up the forest. Late at night, the forest was as quiet as ever. Those who had not been killed were also waiting patiently for their prey. In this peaceful forest, spirit martial realm warriors were inexplicably killed one by one. Many of the disciples were killed without anyone seeing who did it. However, after they woke up, they immediately thought of Qin Yun, because only Qin Yun has such a superb sneak attack method. Late at night, the disciples in the forest were sent out of the immortal weapon fantasy field in groups. This matter soon alerted the top 10 disciples of the families. Qin Yun is back. Early in the morning, the safe city was bustling with noise, because Qin Yun has returned. After disappearing for half a month, Qin Yun finally appeared. Furthermore, he even killed all the disciples in the forest. Qin Yun's points were originally negative 400 points, but now the negative points are gone and it has returned to normal growth. Qin Yun's points are more than 50 points. This matter has caused a great sensation. The people of the safe city did not dare to leave the city. They were worried that they would be killed by Qin Yun for no reason. Qin Yun is indeed outside the city. He is hiding in the shadows, looking at the safe city gate. He is waiting for the core to appear. Bastards from the family powers, if you have the guts, come and kill me again. Qin Yun has stepped into the spirit martial realm and became a martial master. Even if he were to face the siege of a few powerful family disciples, he would definitely not be in such a sorry state like last time. In a courtyard of the Immortal Weapon Palace, Tian Yaolei was originally basking in the sun comfortably. When he heard the news, he abruptly stood up from his chair. Tian Yaolei, last time, in order to catch Qin Yun first, each of us used a talisman. Yang Shenglong walked over, his face filled with anger. That stinky bug Qin Yun always causes trouble for us. Long Quanghong and Jilang also arrived one after another. Their faces are also filled with displeasure, because their mission was to prevent Qin Yun from obtaining points. They all thought that after losing a few hundred points, Qin Yun would not come again. Who would have thought that in less than a month, he would make a comeback and even cancel out the negative points? Changing a talisman requires 500 points. We can't change anymore, otherwise our ranking will drop even more. Tian Yaolei said, "It's all your fault. You should have discussed it properly. One person can change talismans, but we actually all changed and used them together. This has caused a great waste." Long Quanghong coldly snorted, "A bunch of idiots. Wait, that woman Long Xiaofeng doesn't seem to have used it. Let's go find her and let her use her person-seeking talisman." Tian Yaolei said, "This woman might have gone to find Qin Yun herself. Last time, she wanted to capture Qin Yun and fish for some benefits. Damn slut." When Jilang thought of this, he said angrily, "Let's go back and enter the fantasy field first. We'll lead our legions to gather." Yang Shenglong said. After saying this, the four family descendants returned to their residences. Qin Yun is outside the safe city. In the evening, he suddenly saw a middle-aged man galloping over on a horse. Suddenly, a black-clothed youth flew out from the city, wanting to kill the middle-aged man on the horse. "Scoundrel, you even dare to have ideas about your grandfather?" The middle-aged man on the horse roared. "Do you know who I am? I am a vice commander of the Hua Tian Corps." Many of the disciples at the city gate wanted to make a move, but when they heard the words Hua Tian Corps, they were all alarmed. Qin Yun has also heard of the Hua Tian Corps. It is Hua Xie's corps. It is said that the disciples of this corps are all from the Lawkeeper Hall. They are all very strong, and their leader is Hua Xie. The youth who attacked clearly did not recognize the middle-aged man on the horse. When he heard about the Hua Tian Corps, his face was filled with fear. He wanted to flee back to the city, but the middle-aged man on the horse brandished a spear and pierced his head. Little trash that gives away points. The middle-aged man laughed loudly and retracted his spear. The middle-aged man looked at the people at the city gate and laughed wildly. "You bunch of trash, if you want to give me points, then hurry up and come out." Just as the middle-aged man on the horse was laughing heartily, a few throwing knives suddenly flew over. The middle-aged man also sensed the throwing knives and quickly jumped off his horse. Although the middle-aged man dodged, the horse was killed by Qin Yun's throwing knives. "The horse is dead." The middle-aged man immediately roared. "Who did it? Get the hell out here." The middle-aged man's voice is filled with resentment, accompanied by a gust of wind that swept in all directions. "I, Xia Shufeng, guarantee that I will make you leave the fantasy field in the most painful way possible." When everyone saw the horse die, they were all alarmed. This is clearly a provocation to Xia Shufeng. "Your grandfather is old, and it's not convenient for me to roll out, so I can only fly out." As Qin Yun spoke, he slowly floated over and looked at Xia Shufeng below. He chuckled and said, "My good grandson, grandfather is out. If you have anything to say, just say it." "You, who are you?" Xia Shufeng's angry voice seems to be spitting out a bolt of thunder. Everyone also wants to know who the person wearing a black robe and bamboo hat is. He is actually so arrogant and dared to provoke a disciple of the Lawkeeper Hall. Furthermore, he is the vice commander of the Hua Tian Corps. Grandson, you are so young. Why don't you learn your lesson? Didn't I just say it? I am your grandfather. Qin Yun chuckled and said, your memory is really asking for a lesson. I'll chop you up. Xia Shufeng's eyes turned red with anger. He leaped into the air and stabbed with his spear. Countless spearheads shot out like a wave towards Qin Yun. Layer upon layer, the aura is vast and mighty, bringing with it a large gust of wind. Crash! The countless sharp spearheads turned into a storm of anger and ferociously slammed towards Qin Yun. Grandson, with your level, you can't hurt your grandfather. Qin Yun sneered and gently waved his hand. A transparent shockwave surged forward like 10,000 horses galloping. Boom, boom, boom. The shockwave swept over and exploded all of Xia Shufeng's attacks. Qin Yun used the 9 extinction steps and flowing light extinction shadow to strangely appear behind Xia Shufeng. Xia Shufeng was incomparably shocked. He did not expect to meet such a powerful person. Qin Yun punched out and the shockwave roared out. A radius of 100 meters was enveloped by the shockwave. His fist also collided with Xia Shufeng's back. Boom! Xia Shufeng's back was violently hit by the shockwave. A burst of sparks burst out, and he was sent flying several kilometers away, crashing into the city wall. Qin Yun frowned and said with a sneer, my good grandson, you are indeed worthy of being from the Lawkeeper Hall. You actually have such powerful armor. With the power of his punch, just now, it would not be difficult to pierce through Xia Shufeng's body. However, Xia Shufeng was only sent flying. Qin Yun instantly arrived at Xia Shufeng's side. Xia Shufeng was just about to escape when Qin Yun's palm struck out with a shockwave. His entire body heavily smashed into the ground, creating a huge pit of more than 10 meters. Qin Yun fell from the sky and ruthlessly stomped on Xia Shufeng's back, releasing a burst of thunder and lightning power. The lightning power, accompanied by the vibrating power, shook every part of Xia Shufeng's body. The spectators on the city walls were so terrified that they found it hard to breathe. The Hua Tian Corps was formed by the disciples of the Lawkeeper Hall and was extremely powerful. As for the second-in-command of the Hua Tian Corps, he was actually beaten up like a stray dog. Who the hell are you? Xia Shufeng screamed in pain. Listen well, your grandfather's name is Qin Yun. After Qin Yun finished speaking, he punched out with flame-light fist. His fist transformed into a huge flame phantom that pressed down with a vast shockwave, turning Xia Shufeng into ashes. Everyone in the safe city swallowed their saliva. Chapter 587. Crushing Dragon and Phoenix. The strength that Qin Yun displayed just now has completely intimidated everyone. Everyone knows that Hua Xie killed Qin Yun and warned Qin Yun not to get close to Lu Jingming. Now that Qin Yun has killed the deputy commander of Hua Xie's corps, it is obvious that he is challenging Hua Xie. Qin Yun floated in the air and looked into the distance. A large group of people are running over on foot. That is a corps. Qin Yun looked at the raised flag of the corps and saw the 2 words Tyrant Dragon. He could not help but reveal a smile. More than 100 people are rushing over. It is the Tyrant Dragon Corps. Long Ziming also rushed over after receiving Long Quanghong's notice. Pay attention to defense. Someone is attacking. Long Ziming felt a terrifying power wave approaching and quickly shouted. Long Ziming is also very strong. Qin Yun had to go through a lot of trouble to kill him. At this moment, the fastest to react is also Long Ziming. After Qin Yun saw the Tyrant Dragon Corps, he used flowing light extinction shadow to fly over. When he was in the air, he punched the Tyrant Dragon Corps on the ground. That is the superb tsunami technique. Waves of flames accompanied by violent vibrating power, wave after wave, rushed over. The flames vibrated, and 9 consecutive shock waves caused the flames to be like a monstrous wave of flames. Wave after wave rushed over. The people of the Tyrant Dragon Corps, those 9th-level martial Dao realm, simply did not have time to resist. They were shocked by the powerful shock wave and instantly turned into dust. As for those spirit martial realm martial masters who resisted the attack, they were also covered in cuts and bruises. They wanted to escape, but were killed by the throwing knives released by Qinyan. The one who escaped the fastest is Long Zimming. Long Zimming flew far into the sky. Qinyan smiled coldly and quickly chased after him. Using the 9 extinction steps, his speed can be said to be one of the best in the same level. Although Long Zimming is also very fast, it did not take long for Qinyan to catch up. "You are Qinyan?" Although Long Zimming recognized him from the aura, he couldn't believe it, because the current Qinyan is much more terrifying than before. Long Zimming, the reason why trash like you're still in the fantasy field is to give me points, right? Qinyan smiled and grabbed the air. The power of Nether Sun that he released also has a suction force, pulling back Long Zimming, who is dozens of meters in front of him. Long Zimming's whirlpool also has this kind of suction. He never expected Qinyan to be able to use such power. Long Zimming, who was desperately fleeing, was caught, and his body fell back. Qinyan quickly flew over and slammed his palm on Long Zimming. The violent thunderfire power directly penetrated Long Zimming's body. People in the safe city can see that after a raging black lightning penetrated Long Zimming's body, it still flew hundreds of meters. This could only mean that the lightning was extremely terrifying. After Qinyan's bones had been enlightened, they contained a large amount of inner force. One must know that Qinyan's heavenly lion shin body power is restricted, otherwise his strength would be even more terrifying. Long Zimming only had fear in his heart. The last time he fought Qinyan, he was able to fight to a draw, and now his body was pierced by Qinyan. "Qinyan, how did you become so strong?" Long Zimming looked at Qinyan, and his voice trembled in horror. "This is all thanks to you. Thank you for oppressing me and trampling on my life. It is because of you that I need to keep getting stronger and not bow to you." Qinyan's words are full of momentum, and each word is like a knife, making Long Zimming tremble. Rumble, the earth in the distance suddenly shook. Another army was coming. This corps is much larger than the Balong Corps. "Big Sister Xiaofeng, save me." Long Zimming did not want to lose points and quickly shouted, "No one can save you. Go to hell. Next time you give me points, remember to be polite." Qinyan said and killed Long Zimming with a palm. Qinyan is now in the spirit martial realm. He only has 1 point for killing a 9th-level martial Dao realm and 2 points for killing a spirit martial realm. Now his points are growing very slowly. Seeing a corps of hundreds of people coming, Qinyan is also secretly happy. He also recognized Long Xiaofeng, the woman who captured him last time and wanted to force him to hand over the Golden Ape Totem. Long Xiaofeng has been in the fantasy field and is also near the safe city, so she can arrive here as soon as possible. She saw Qinyan from afar and quickly flew up. In the blink of an eye, Long Xiaofeng appeared in front of Qinyan. Long Xiaofeng's long hair is fluffy and hanging on her chest. Her beautiful jade, white goose egg face has a calm smile. Her eyes are slightly slender and charming with a bit of coldness and heroic spirit. "Qinyan, you just destroyed Long Zimming's corps and your points did not increase much. Obviously, it is because you have stepped into the spirit martial realm, right?" "Yes," Qinyan said coldly. "You are so anxious to give points, should I thank you?" People in the safe city now understand why Qinyan is so terrifying. He actually stepped into the spirit martial realm. Qinyan, who is at the 9th-level martial Dao realm, is very terrifying. He can kill Lu Chongsheng of Medicine Immortal Valley. You know, Lu Chongsheng is a martial master with Xin body and totem, and now Qinyan's strength can be imagined. I am afraid that only the top 10 disciples on the martial Dao list have the power to fight him. Qinyan, I want to congratulate you first. Advancing to the spirit martial realm means that you will also become a main sect disciple in the future. Long Xiaofeng flung her long hair behind her chest. She seems to be smiling charmingly, but her eyes are full of coldness. Long Xiaofeng, right? Then I will call you senior sister first. Qinyan also sneered and said, for the sake of you congratulating me on becoming a martial master, I can let you die a little more dignified. Oh, how do you want to die a little more dignified? Long Xiaofeng sneered. I want you to leave an intact corpse. Qinyan said, that is indeed very dignified. If it was someone else, they would definitely do something disgraceful to my body after defeating me. Long Xiaofeng's laughter is filled with thick killing intent. I hope you don't have such thoughts. Otherwise, you will die miserably in reality. Don't worry, I am a human, not a beast. Besides, even if I become a beast, I will not be so hungry that I can't be choosy. Qin Yun's expression is bold and frivolous. He sized up Long Xiaofeng's proud and tall body. It seems like I'm not your type. It is rare for a man to not have ideas about me. Long Xiaofeng laughed loudly a few times. However, in my opinion, this is also a kind of insult. Qin Yun looked around and said, those few male companions who want to get on top of you, it seems like they haven't arrived yet. I deliberately cooperated with you and let you stall for time for them to come, but they still haven't appeared? Those pigs are not my companions. Long Xiaofeng's expression immediately turned ice cold. She angrily rebuked. If you dare say that they are my companions again, I will kill you. All right, you are obviously waiting for those pigs to come over. Qin Yun faintly smiled. That's right. I am waiting for them to come over and deal with you. I am rather lazy. I don't want to fight with you. I just want to stall you. Long Xiaofeng sneered and said, if you are smart, you should quickly run away and not try to be brave here. Men like you always like to be arrogant. Qin Yun looked at the core below and said, how many spirit martial realm warriors do you have in your core? 300 people at the 9th level martial Dao realm and 100 people at the spirit martial realm. If you can kill them, it will be 500 points. Long Xiaofeng said, you currently have 200 points. If you get 500 points, it will be quite a lot. I will kindly accept the 500 points you sent me. Qin Yun laughed and suddenly flashed, bypassing Long Xiaofeng and charging towards the Xiaofeng core. Wishful thinking. Long Xiaofeng originally did not want to make a move. She really did not want to fight with Qin Yun. But now that Qin Yun has rubbed his nose and face, he has no choice but to make a move. Long Xiaofeng raised her lily-white hands. Dragon and Phoenix roar. A dragon and Phoenix phantom image fiercely charged toward Qin Yun. This woman has twin dragon and Phoenix martial spirits. Ling Yun shouted in alarm. It should be purple gold martial spirit. Qin Yun is also alarmed. He quickly punched out and used the 6-style forging dragon. Tremor thunder style. Boom, boom, boom. Shaking thunder roared. Violent and violent flames burst out, mightily pressing down on the mighty dragon and Phoenix. The powerful dragon and Phoenix phantom image was destroyed by Qin Yun's punch. Long Xiaofeng gritted her teeth. She is secretly alarmed. She took out a long saber, and a pair of flame wings suddenly appeared on her back. She appeared in front of Qin Yun in a flash. The moment the large saber chopped down, the huge Phoenix wings flapped, followed by a violent flame. The purple gold flame, accompanied by the Phoenix cry and the violent saber energy, is like a huge purple gold beam of light that submerged Qin Yun. Qin Yun also took out his weapon and used the 6-style Wind Slayer. Hua hua hua. As soon as the 6-style Wind Slayer was used, its imposing manner is ferocious, like a dragon and tiger. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, blocking the violent flame beam. Long Xiaofeng saw Qin Yun brandishing his saber. His aura is enough to devour mountains and rivers. His might is monstrous. She is alarmed and quickly dodged. Qin Yun's saber slashed down, causing a large amount of black flames to swirl in the air. It is like a boiling black cloud that enveloped the sky. The earth cracked and collapsed, unceasingly trembling. The spectators saw that Qin Yun's power is already comparable to the top 10 of the martial Dao list. They concluded that Qin Yun will definitely enter the top 10. Among the top 10, there will definitely be a place for Qin Yun. It is only a matter of time. Long Xiaofeng can sense Qin Yun's violent power the most. She also knows that if this continues, she will most likely be defeated. Just when she wanted to retreat her army, Qin Yun used 9 extinction steps and instantly flashed over. He used the 6-style Wind Slayer. The saber energy set off furious thunder. It is like a furious giant beast. It is as if it can split mountains and split the earth. It released countless furious black thunder and lightning that enveloped Long Xiaofeng's body. Qin Yun finally hit Long Xiaofeng. Long Xiaofeng let out a delicate cry. She also felt the pain tearing her body apart. Boom! Qin Yun flashed over and punched. Long Xiaofeng attacked with both of her palms. Dragon and Phoenix roared, surging with ancient beast power and jolting Qin Yun's fist away. The eruption of vibration power impacted the sky and earth, producing rumbling thunder in the sky. The earth that just recovered was once again torn apart. Long Xiaofeng's power is slightly inferior to Qin Yun's. After exchanging one move, she was sent flying. Blood flowed out from the corner of her mouth. Her long hair is in a mess. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.